Good evening. Good evening, 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 willkommen, guten Abend, bienvenue, and welcome to Game Night. It is Thursday, the 21st of May. It is just about 8:05 here in the UK, and here's a message from our sponsor, HUD 601.
Quote Mrs. HUD. The fudge are we listening to? Stick that on the title card.
Stick a hashtag in front of it, HUDs. That's a good start. That's a strong start. I'm not going to lie. Thank you for the 100 bits, my dude. Hope you're keeping well. Welcome on in, everybody. How you doing? Very nearly a bank holiday weekend here in the UK. Much excitement abounds. Extra day off. Yes, and the sun seems to have come. I looked at my weather app this morning and it looks like it is nothing but sunshine for the next 10 days at least. That's as far as the weather app goes, but that's exciting, certainly. How are you all doing? It's very nice to see you all. Let me do some greetings. Good evening to Lewis and Prugs, JR and SJ, Fetz and Stilgar, AB Me, John, Lupine and Colin, and a message from our sponsor, the Lupine One.
Life-changing sums of pennies are on offer tonight, but only if you can stake your claim of the Moneybox jackpot.
Absolutely. Lupine, thank you for the 70-month subscription there, my goodness me, and kicking off a hype train, no less. 70 months, that's like almost 71 months. My dude, very, very grateful to you for the support. Thank you very much, and welcome on into the stream. Good evening, Shapes, Huds, Flyboy, Shadowmane, BC, Brisbane, Green Day, Ice Tim, Alexander, Matt the Sprat, Stimson's Angle, Rack, and anyone else who is lurking, loitering, and lingering in the chat. You are all most welcome to be here. Thank you so much for joining us for what promises to be a super fun evening of quiz and trivia. Huds, you're gonna stick that message in the chat, bro. That's a good one. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you can suggest the episode title for tonight's episode of Game Night by sticking a hashtag in front of the message. My favourite will get its own bespoke thumbnail, and it will become the episode title and the thumbnail for the VOD, and you'll get 250 pennies, and you'll be our raid message. I am never going to pick insert raid message here, Stilcar. That is never going to be the raid message. I can guarantee you. How's everyone doing? I hope you are well. It's a bit warm here. Is my fan particularly noticeable? I mean, it's behind the green screen, so it's not doing a lot, but it is just generally circulating a bit of cold air around the room because it gets quite hot in my office. So if it's noisy, if I just stop a minute. Probably not a thing. I don't know if you can hear it. Fan is... Oh no, that's a different fan. That's a fan from the computer, or possibly the cabling, actually. No, the air conditioning fan is a lot louder. In a quiet wind tunnel. I think there might be something. I think there might be a cable loose, because there is always a quiet general background hum, which I should probably, investigate at some point. Anyway, this is Moneybox, and tonight our questions come courtesy of John88, and very grateful to him, and to Cola for proofing. Should prove to be a suitably head-scratchy pack, but hopefully will generate some interesting conversation. We were scheduled to have the drain tonight, but due to illness on the part of one of the players, all players have agreed to postpone that till Saturday, when there wasn't a drain scheduled. So just the 2 games tonight, starting with Moneybox, and coming up a bit later on, we've got the return, the first appearance since the pilot of PowerPlay. Very much looking forward to sharing that with you. Those questions will have been written by Shadowmane and proofed by me. Excuse me. And looking forward to seeing if we can if we get the hang of the powers in this next game, and see if we can conquer the grid. But yeah, do come and join the game. This is Moneybox. If you want to play, a quick reminder that you do need to have a microphone and you need to be in the Discord, because you'll need to come and have a chat with me. So if that isn't you, if you don't want to take part in the hot seat game, that's absolutely fine. There is a background game element to this game, but do exclude, because if you haven't got a microphone, we won't be able to play. So you do need to be able to come and have a bit of a chat with me. In the lobby game, in the hot seat game, I beg your pardon. And yes, likewise, as Prugs has just said there, if you think I've had a go recently, I'll give someone else a crack. That's absolutely fine as well. It's a pairs game, so I will pick a single player, and they will then pick their partner, who they want to be teamed up with this evening from the remaining players. So. We'll see what happens. We generally only have one game of Moneybox per season, so I think this is the only game of Moneybox this season. I might be wrong. I'd have to check the schedule. Woolly Back, Puzzle Down in Frontery, Lewis41 Seahorse. Welcome all of you to the stream. 2 Lewises in one stream. How very exciting. That's cool. If Frontery, enjoy the background game. Enjoy the background game as well. So just the 2 feature games tonight, Moneybox and PowerPlay. With the drain being pushed back to this weekend. So we're going to have a little bit of a bumper stream this weekend because we've got Cryptex by Dogfish on Saturday night. And as you know, with the Dogfish pack, it's going to be a bit longer than the norm. I believe Dogfish has given us 10 puzzles in Cryptex this weekend, so that's a nice one to start us off. We then got DEFCON by Owen Dalton, so hopefully we'll all try and survive the end of the world. We'll see what happens there. We'll then have our game of the drain that was scheduled to be tonight, and we'll wrap everything up with the Abyss with a last-minute change of author. That pack is going to be written by Shadowmane, switching with Run, who is we'll see his Abyss pack a little bit later on in the season. So, more people coming to join. Welcome to the game. Epic Galley, Fallen Angel, Not a Cat. Great to have you all with us. We're about to get this game underway, and I'm going to select my player in just a minute. So, last chance to come and join the lobby. Reminder, if you do want to come and play, you must have a microphone. You must be in the Discord. A general reminder to everyone, there is the Universe Control if you want to play along. There is the room code if you need it. Quick reminder again that we do not Google the answers. Leave your search engines and your LLMs and your chatbots at the door. No Googling, please. If you are found out, then you will be banned from the community. We don't want to have to do that, and I don't like having to bring it up, but it is essential that I do say that that is the rule, because I know we've often got a lot of new people in who just need to let everyone know what the rules are, and then everyone's on the same page, which is great. Reminder, you can suggest the episode title for tonight, and if you are watching this on YouTube, don't forget to like and subscribe. What am I talking about? We're on Twitch. Well, what I mean is that you can go and catch up with every episode of Game Night, going right back to Season 1 with Game Night On Demand at persephoneshare.com/on-demand, case sensitive because I are bad web programmer. Probably. I don't know, it might not be. I haven't tested it recently. Someone let me know. Let me know in the comments. But if you are watching it on YouTube, be sure to like and subscribe, because I have to say that because the algorithm says so. The train has been clogged up. That's a bit clogged. I think somebody has been clogged up slightly with a bug, but welcome on in, Nat, all the same. I think that is probably long enough. Let's lock this lobby. No, nobody's seen PowerPlay since the pilot, Not a Cat. It's the first time it's been played since the pilot, so very interested to see how it's going to go down. It hasn't had much in the way of changes, a couple of graphical tweaks, and we've made the question pack shorter, but I'll say more about that a little bit later on. For now, I need to pick a player to join me in the broadcast studio. Make your way to the green room. Lewis will sound test you, and then throw you into the broadcast studio when he's happy everything is working. Let's pick a player to play Moneybox tonight. It's the Lupine one, and here's a message from our sponsor, We Like Shapes.
Funny you should say that, Epic.
Yes, time to perfection there, Shapes. Thank you very much for the 65-month subscription, indeed. Lupine, the breakaway treatment trimmed by 5 questions. Well, normally we're looking for the opposite of question burn. We have packs require too many questions, and it was the unusual thing where I think the sort of general consensus was we found there were possibly too many questions in PowerPlay, just for the nature of the game. But we'll see how it plays out. And there's some lovely questions that we've got from Shadowmane to look forward to. All of that coming up a little bit later on. Prey, welcome to the stream. Lovely to have you here. Ralph is just getting sound tested by Lewis, and then we will bring him into the game. Oh, thank you, Alex. I had no idea I'd hit 30. Is that a milestone? I guess that's a milestone. So, yay, 1,300 followers. Thank you for the kind words. If you're not following, feel free to. Right, once Lewis is happy, I'm assuming he will throw... There he is, he's thrown Ralph into the room. If I unmute everything, hopefully everyone will be able to hear us loud and clear. Ralph, good Oh, no, you can't hear me because I'm deafened. Ralph, good evening, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Wonderful stuff, I can hear you loud and clear, and I'm hoping Stream can as well. How are you doing tonight, my friend?
Fine, thank you very much. Work a little bit stressful, but I did a nice bit of cooking after work. I'm feeling happy about that.
Good-o. Yes, there's nothing like a bit of cooking or a bit of baking to take your mind off the stresses of everyday life. So I'm sorry it's been a stressful day, but hopefully we'll give you a nice fun kind of stress here in Moneybox this evening. That's, as ever, the goal. Now, just looking at my medal cabinet, Lupine, you have played Moneybox on the new graphics once before. Can you remember how that went?
Pretty well.
I believe you did quite well. You were with Tipster on that occasion, and you finished up with 2282. You are currently 6th on the leaderboard, and I think the goal is obviously, as ever, is going to be to try and beat that this evening. So, of course, you're not going to do that single-handedly. You are going to choose somebody to work with you, any of the players who hadn't excluded from the game. So if you could have a look and see who out of those players do you fancy bringing to join you in the Moneybox tonight. You've got a choice of JR, Clive, Alexander, Prey, Shadowbane, Woollyback, Natter, Shapes, or Fallen Angel. Who would you like?
Oh, it absolutely has to be Clive of Legend.
Clive of Legend. Let me type in his name, and the computer will do its magic thing. It says to me, I will attempt to select Clive of Legend. Let's see if you are successful in that attempt, computer, as we pick a player. There it is. Love it when a plan comes together. Clive, my dude, make your way to the green room, please. You have been chosen to be partnered with Lupine tonight. So we'll just get Clive sound tested once he's made his way towards the green room. Lewis will drop him in here when everything is ready. So yes, a question pack, and it's Spotsy. Good evening, welcome to the stream. A question pack tonight, courtesy of John. Now, any strong feelings about what to expect in this? Have you played much of John's trivia in the past?
I think I've played some of his packs before. They were pretty good packs, if I recall.
Indeed so. I do like John's, right? John, one of the major writers for the Drain tournament as well. I have to say they've contributed a big stack of questions towards that, so we're very grateful to them. I've not seen much of many of these questions. Cola's proofed it, and I quote, he said, "There's some interesting stuff in here." Which I think is a good thing. It's the sort of game that we want to generate that level of conversation. So interesting stuff. Hopefully it's not may you live in interesting times sort of interesting. Just about, I'm hoping Clive is going to be just about with us. Oh, there's a mute happening, so there may be just a couple of audio gremlins, which hopefully will get resolved very, very quickly. And then our game can begin in earnest. While we're waiting for Clive, let's take a look at Clive's history in the Moneybox. Ooh, now this is interesting because Clive, again, has only appeared once in Moneybox before, but didn't have quite as much success as yourself, Lupine. He was paired with a Run Aromatics and only managed to take away 150 pennies on that occasion. I'm getting a message from Lewis. Ooh, okay, that's not some... Okay, we may have an issue with Clive of Legend. He thought he'd excluded, but unfortunately he's not in a position to play hot seat, so I won't go into his details. But because it's been selected, I cannot re-roll at this stage, I don't think. So, what do we do? Because I think that the only thing really we can do is to restart the graphics, because and then I can force you in first, Lupine, and then you can have a fresh pick. I think that's the only thing we can do really, because your partner will need the Unicon device. So that's it's not a problem. We will no, we don't want to exit to desktop. We want to kill current game. So sit tight, Lupin. You will need to refresh your device, as will everybody else. So get ready to refresh your devices. Let's go to BRB. Let's relaunch the graphics. Yes, kill the current game. It's a little message a little button that I have in the top right of the operator. Okay, let's select our question data, which is Moneybox. Send to build, hide launch screen, and roll VT. Right, back in the game. And KZXK, so loop on if you want to join. We'll give everyone else a few seconds to come in as well. And Fallen Angel, I think I saw you in the chat. I have just given you the permissions for the server, so you should have access to the full server now. Welcome on in. Lovely to have you with us. I'll say hello to you properly a bit later on. I promise to look when I try to push buttons in future. No worries, Clive. No worries, my dude. Right, so let's get Lupine back in first. And then you get to pick a different partner. G. Eisens and Clive, welcome to the stream. Lewis, power user alerts are coming through. They may just not be beeping. Can a power user just try and send me an alert? I just want to see if it's the audio. Might just be the audio. My soundboard is working. Or it's possible I was already on... Yeah, they are. What probably happened is I was probably on the page, so it doesn't beep if I'm on the page, and then I just ignored it. Right, let's get Lupine into the game. And go back to where we were. There you are, Lupine. Introductions. Nice patter. So, you ready to pick a different partner, Lupine?
Yes. Also, will you stream via game through Discord, or is it just on
Yes,
Twitch?
that's something I could do, isn't it? Wouldn't that be a nice idea? Give me just a mo. Let me turn on virtual camera, and hopefully you can see that now.
Hello.
Yes, excellent. Yes, and we can hear you anyway, but now you can see as well, which is nice. So let's go back to our audience slides. You've got the choice of Natter, Alexander the Huff, Fallen Angel, JR, Shapes, Shadowmane, Woollyback, or Sportsy. Who would you like to bring into the money box with you tonight?
I'll pick Shapes.
Shapes, okie dokie. We like Shapes. Now, just before I press the button, Shapes, are you able to come to the green room of the broadcast studio? Cool, says Shapes. I'll take that as a yes. I'll take that as a yes. Right, let's bring Shapes in to join your game. There we go. Shapes, pop yourself into the green room. Bear with, I put my headphones... Okay, get them back out. No drama. Well, while we're waiting for Shapes, let's go and take a snoop at his medal cabinet. Just the one appearance from Shapes as well, with Proogs. And now this is interesting. Shapes and Proogs did rather well. They got 5,125. And they are currently sat third on the Moneybox leaderboard. So between you, you've got a third place and a sixth place. Top of the leaderboard remains Arun Aromatics and Jack Wilfred with 6,700. So Arun Aromatics in quite a unique position here, and that they're at the top of the leaderboard and almost the bottom of the leaderboard as well, Arun. You are saved the great honour of being at the bottom of the leaderboard by one Royal Flush and AT_Bash, who are currently at the bottom of the leaderboard with 125. Top of the leaderboard is 6,700, so that is going to be the target that we're after tonight. And I see a Shapes in the green room now. Apologies everybody for the slight delays in getting going. It's one of those things that happens. It's live. We'll edit it out in post and all will be well. So let's just wait hopefully 10 more seconds and then we'll get Shapes. Da 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 dum da 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 ya da da dee 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 da 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 ya da 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 da. This is my hold music. Go all Hamilton hold music on you all. Sorry, Fallen Angel, I can only apologise. No, don't change the subject. Hello, Dexter. Oh, that's me changing the subject. Because you're my favourite subject. My sweet, submissive subject. My loyal, royal subject. Forever. Hello, boy. You'll be back. Yes, you are back. You're very back here. I can't vamp the whole of Hamilton, though. We've got a third player in the room, a second player, a third person in the shape of Shapes. Hello, Shapes. Good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Very nice to have you here. You've been chosen by Ralph to come and partner at Moneybox. So let me introduce you. Ralph, Shapes, Ralph.
Hello, Ralph.
Hello, Shapes.
Now everyone is friends, we can begin the game. Now, Shapes, while you were being sound tested, we went to your leaderboard. Now, you're currently third place with Proogs. Lupine is also sixth place with Tipster. Between you, do you think you could surpass both positions?
Probably.
I think we've got it in us.
I think you have as well. Well, I'm going to give you a quick recap of the game. You both need your universal controllers open because you'll need to press some buttons. We're looking for some good chats, so make sure you get some good conversations going and think your way around these questions as many ways as you can. Here's how we're going to play. One of you will select a coin to go in the money box, and then one of you will select a question category. Answer the question correctly, and it will add the value of that coin to your jackpot. But if you get it wrong, the coin goes out of the game forever. On top of that, I've hidden 4 killer coins. And if you get a question wrong and there's a killer in your money box, it will half your value, your accumulated value. So they're very, very nasty. And because we've got 12 questions in total and 10 in the main game, you're guaranteed to find at least 2 killers. So ideally, we'd only find 2, and even more ideally, we'd get those questions right. But we will see. Remember, at the end of the game, you need to leave 2 of the categories that you will definitely face in the final. My advice is always to leave a category that you're going to feel reasonably confident about, at least one, because then you can you've got more of a chance when we get to the final. But we're not going to know what those questions are going to hold until we get there. But we should have a lovely time, and hopefully we'll all learn some things along the way. Are you guys both ready?
Yep.
Yes.
Fantastic. I hope you're ready to play along at home as we play Moneybox. Okie dokie, friends. Here is our category board. These questions coming from John, and again there is the values, the 12 values ranging from 50 right the way up to 2,000, and your categories are social etiquette, logging problems, on the road, bold pages, beautifully unbalanced, that one cipher, sporty showdown, made up politics, excellent science, mental dilemmas, this ain't fresh air, and battle of the stats, or possibly battle of the states. So, some nice cryptic things to think about there, and from what I have seen of the questions, I haven't seen much of them, but they do look like they are going to be proper thinky questions. So let's see how you're going to get on. We go over to the money box, and Lupine, you are going to select the first coin. We're going for the blue one on the left. Let's pop that into the money box. Shapes. Of course, this is a joint decision, but Shapes, you have ultimate control on this first pick. Just take a few seconds to have a little chat about those categories, not more than 30 seconds, and then Shapes, you'll be picking the first.
Right. Is there anything that leaps out as something you want to keep?
I think probably sporty showdown and that one cipher maybe to keep.
Okay, cool. I'm having a bit of sort of trouble deciphering what these are necessarily going to contain.
Well, I mean, they feel awfully specific, though.
Yeah, I mean, there's one scientific thing I know about eggs, so if it's that that comes up, we're good.
What's the scientific thing you know about eggs, Shapes?
What the egg does, if you put an egg in water, what it does to indicate if it's fresh or not.
Actually, you might want to save that for later then. Save that one for the end.
If it comes up as that, then we're good. If it's anything else to do with
I think we should probably save that one for the money box final then.
Okay, well, have a think about that. So you're not committed to anything, but there's certainly a couple up there that you're thinking about saving. Let's get the game underway. Where are we starting?
Okay, let's start with. I can't find it in the book. Yes, there we go.
On the road, okie dokie, on the road. I'm going to show you 2 options for each question. Audience game, you will have 15 seconds to answer. Shapes and Ralph, you'll have 45 seconds to discuss. I will remind you, you have got a straw poll that you can use when you hear the ping. That means the audience time has expired, and you can see what the audience think before you give your final decision. If you like. You only get 1 for the duration of the beginning game. You can't use it in the final, but it is there to be used if you want a bit of extra help. So let's take a look at our first options. Mirror checks before changing direction or junction observations. And the question that goes with it. As of 2025, what is the top reason candidates fail the DVSA car practical driving test in the UK? So audience, you've got 15 seconds to have a think about this. Players, 45 seconds to have a chat, and your time starts now.
Well, I've not done my test, so I don't have any personal observations to bring into this.
I have no intention of taking a driving test. It's just public transport and daily for me.
2 non-drivers on a DVSA question at the beginning. The straw poll is available.
Right. Okay, so I would say, what is the first one that you do when you get there? Because it's mirror signal.
Mirror signal manoeuvre. So I'm thinking people. That's the rule of thumb that people are going to bring. Mirror signal manoeuvre, but
So
it's
is it
like
gonna be-
the car signals, not the junction signals. So I think that junction observations might be the big failure point here.
The one that they forget because it's not in the mnemonic.
Yes, I'd say the top reason would be junction observations.
That makes sense to me, and as a second non-driver, I sort of don't have any personal experience of it, so...
Are we going? We're going junction observations.
Yes.
Okay, let's lock that in. And let's see what the audience thought. Oh, they don't agree. 80% of the audience actually going the other way. This is really interesting because I've got 2 non-drivers of my players. I am a driver. My girlfriend is currently, she's booked her driving test. So I think she would probably know this. Unfortunately, she's not here tonight and is not in the game either. But let's see. Did you get the correct answer? The audience don't think so. Let's have a look. You were right, the audience were wrong. Good deduction there. Yeah, the primary reason candidates fail the driving test is inadequate observation at junctions. A very close second is failing to check mirrors before changing direction. This covers issues such as not checking mirrors before signalling or changing lanes, failing to use them when altering direction or leaving a roundabout, and cases where poor observation forces other road users to slow down. I was always taught when you're checking your mirror in your driving test, make it really obvious, because you still use your mirrors even after you pass your test, though you don't use them quite as much as they drill into you in your driving test. But a good deduction from both of you. Now, it'd be good to get some money into the money box. Let's see, what did you bring on that first question? Okay, it's 50, and I finally added that sound effect that everyone's been wanging on at me to get in. Yes, Windows dot to die. You got 50. It is the lowest value of the game, and it's not a killer. That is unfortunate, but it is cash. So we're off the mark. Well played. Let's add 50 to your jackpot. Okay, a bit of a damp squib opener. But it is cash, and the lowest value is out of the game. So it's all uphill from here, but in a good way. Back to the money box. And Shapes, could you select coin, please? The green one on the left, in it goes to the box. And I'm just going to give you 10 seconds now to discuss where we're going. And then, Ralph, you're going to pick a category.
Politics is usually the early one to get rid of, especially if it's made up.
If you fancy doing that, then yeah.
It might be a book thing, maybe.
Oh, good point. Yeah,
Do you want to get? But we also have,
if we're not sure about it.
Book bold pages could also be a book one, so let's get rid of made up politics for now. Okay?
Yep.
Great. Yeah, sometimes it's a good strategy to get the ones we're not so sure of out the way earlier, because then if it's wrong and it's a killer, you've still got time to build back up. So let's take a look at the options. Left authoritarian or left libertarian, and your question that goes with it. According to the website trackingai.org, most chatbots have what political tendency on the political compass? 15 seconds in the audience, 45 seconds for you two to try and come up to some conclusion, and your time starts now.
Right, okay. So libertarians are like the ones who are like sort of people should be free to do everything, and because it's opposite authoritarian, isn't it?
Straw poll
yes, AI have a tendency to be obsequious yes men.
They do, don't they? Oh yes, you've pointed that out to me. Of course, that's correct.
So, yes, you're absolutely right. I forgot that. You're completely correct. Yeah, get that a lot.
So I'd say it would probably be libertarian if they are very much obsequious yes men.
It would incline that way, wouldn't it?
Yes, I'd say left libertarian.
Happy to go with that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Ironically, it's the answer on the right, but they're both left anyway, so there's probably a better pun there somewhere. Let's lock in left libertarian. And let's see what our audience thought. Not quite as divisive as last time, but still slightly favouring the other answer. 57% thinking left authoritarian, 43% going for left libertarian. I really like your logic. Let's see if it's paid off. Yeah, bang on. So according to trackingai.org's political compass test results, most major LLMs, large language models, both free and commercial, cluster in the green quadrant, which is left libertarian. No prizes for guessing the main exception. Do you want to? Grok, yeah, Grok is the main exception, built by XAI, which shift towards the yellow quadrant, which is right libertarian. Very well done. We've got a correct answer. Let's see, what did we bring to our money box? And Jerry, welcome to the stream. That's more like it. 650, so we're now 13 times what we had on our first coin. It's a good start. We're building and building. Let's add 650 to your jackpot. Okay, we're up to 700 in total. There's 9,200 left on the board, and there's still a potential winnings of 9,900 tonight. Let's take a look at the leaderboard after 2 questions. You are flying in the front, Ralph and Shakes with 700. Also, Adrian Ian Stilgar managed to get both of them right. Brisbane, Clive, Effrontery, Fetz, Gally, JR, and L and Matt and Sosely all getting the second question right. Flyboy, Natter, Stimpson's Angle getting the first question right. Everyone else is 0 for 2 so far, but there's still plenty of time to go as we go back to our money box. And Ralph, your coin. Go for the blue one on the right. Let's pop it in, and 10 seconds to have a chat, and then Shapes, it's your pick.
Is there anything here that we can't really get a read on at all?
Like things that are like too generic, like beautifully unbalanced.
Yeah. Shall we clear something like that so we don't have a complete mystery?
Yes.
We have to take later.
Yes.
Okay, beautifully unbalanced is what we're going for. Coin has decided. The computer's just told me what the coin is, but I'm going to keep it to myself for now. It's also told me whether it's a killer or not, so that's exciting for me. You'll find out in just a minute. Let's take a look at your options. Munch's The Scream or Van Gogh's Self-Portrait with Bandaged Ear are your options. Are you familiar with these two things?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Positive start. Let's take a look at the question. On which famous painting can one see the handwritten inscription, "Could only have been painted by a madman"? Audience, you've got 15 seconds to decide. Players, you've got 45 seconds to discuss, and your time starts now.
Well, I mean, the Scream is... There's more of a sort of kind of humour in that one than there is in Van Gogh's self-portrait, which was like a very tormented time in his life.
Available.
Yes.
The only thing I can think of, I don't know for sure. I didn't realise there was any inscription on either of these. But
I mean, did you watch the Doctor Who episode where he visits Vincent van Gogh?
Yes.
I did, yes.
So I'd say I'm leaning towards Van Gogh as well.
Okay.
Are you leaning towards Van Gogh?
I think so, yeah.
I'm not influencing you here, am I?
The only thing is Van Gogh being Dutch might not have inscribed something in English.
Well, this could be even as critics.
I'll be the same with Monk actually, so that
it may not have been the artist who inscribed it.
I am going to need to press you for an answer. Which one are we going for?
I think we're leaning towards Van Gogh anyway.
Yes.
Going Van Gogh. You want to lock that in?
Yes, please.
Yes, please.
Okay. Now, do the audience concur? They do. This time the audience are on your side. Now, the audience have been wrong the last two questions, but 56% agreeing with you. Van Gogh's self-portrait with bandaged ear. Let's see, are they and you correct? Yeah, last night it's our first error. Just in time, here's a message from our sponsor, Cola-Cola.
Unlucky.
Unlucky, yes indeed, because Cola would have known that you were going in the wrong direction. And Cola, thank you for that very nice number of months subscription, 69 months subscription, most grateful to you. Yeah, so just to tell you about this, it was long thought to have been added by a vandal, something that you alluded to, it wasn't the artist, but new research has now shown that Edvard Munch wrote the inscription himself. Infrared scans and handwriting analyses confirmed that the pencil text matches Munch's own notes. Added years after the 1893 painting, the line was likely a response to criticism when the work debuted in Norway in 1895, where a medical student publicly claimed that Munch was mentally unstable. I think I've managed to pronounce the artist's name in 3 different ways over the course of that host note. One of them will probably be right. Let's see. It's a wrong answer, so we want to try and avoid a killer now. What did you bring to your money box? That's upsetting. It is one of the bigger values of the game, the 1250, one of the 4-figure values. But the silver lining here is that it's not a killer, so we keep our jackpot of 700. But unfortunately, we do have to lose the 1250 from the game, and up it goes into the rafters. Bye. Okay, let's see if we can rebuild that momentum that we had after the first couple of questions. Shapes, it's your turn to pick a coin.
Right, let's go.
The red on the left, and 10 seconds to have a chat, and then Lupine, your pick of category.
Oh, Battle of the States feels like it's going to be a US-centric one. We're a couple of Brits, aren't we?
We are, so we might not be as well placed for that as...
Yeah, I'm leaning towards that one.
A transatlantic team might be.
That's why I picked Clive to begin with. Transatlantic advantage.
I mean, Clive is practically British.
I'll tell him you said that.
But, I mean, Jack told him first. Says he should be given British citizenship. He knows everything about golden balls. Does anybody else in Tennessee even know that it exists?
This is a very good question. We will have to refer back to Clive. What are we going for this category?
Battle of the States?
Yep.
Battle of the Stats, or states, those parentheses around the E could be interesting. But let's take a look at our options first of all. More or less. Simple as that. So, or maybe both, as Alexander is suggesting. Could well be. Let's take a look at this question. At its peak size, did the Confederacy have more or less than half as many states as the Union? Both the free states and the border states. I'll read that again. At its peak size, did the Confederacy have more or less than half as many states as the Union, both the free states and the border states. You've got 15 seconds in the audience. You two have got 45 seconds to have a chat, and your time starts now.
Right, okay, my grasp of the things isn't great here. The Confederacy was like was that the original states?
The Confederacy were the people who wanted slavery.
Yeah.
The Union were the people who didn't want slavery. That is the peak of my knowledge of the Civil War.
Straw poll available.
The question is, one, how many states were there at the time? And two, how many states did the Confederacy have?
More or less than half as many as the Union.
They were like it was like the sort of 13 to 19, wasn't it, the Confederacy?
In that case, it would be more then, because...
You would think, because at that point, most of the states that are now states hadn't joined the Union at that point.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Why 13 to 19? Are you saying 13 of the Union, 19 of the Confederacy, or are you saying there were 13 to 19 states in the Confederacy?
Yeah, because if it was like 30, so it'd be less, but 19 would be more than half of that.
Well,
I'm going to need an answer from you. What are we going for?
More.
More?
I think I think Shapes is saying more here.
Yes.
Okay, let's lock in more. Let's see what our audience thought. 62% in agreement with you, so majority of the audience are on your side. Again, majority of the audience I don't think have got a correct answer yet. Let's see if that trend continues or if you've got the right answer. I'm afraid not. It was less than half as many. So to give you the stats of the states question, at its peak, the Confederacy consisted of 11 seceded states, which is the original 7, plus 4 that joined after Fort Sumter. By contrast, the Union retained 23 loyal states, including the 4 slaveholding border states, Maryland, Delaware, Kentucky, and Missouri, that did not secede. So at its peak size, you're looking at 23 versus 11, and 11 is less than half of 23. Bad luck. It's not the right answer, and again, we're in this position where we're looking to see if we can avoid a killer. Let's find out. What did you bring to your money box? Okay, so it's not a killer again. It's another 4-figure value, the 1,000 now going out of the game, but we have to cling on to the notion that we've still not lost any money that we've earned. We've avoided the killers. It does still mean there are 4 killers in the game, and with 8 questions to choose from now, 8 coins to choose from, it means half of the remaining coins are now killers. But for now, we stick with we keep our jackpot that we have, and let's remove 1,000 from the game. Okay, so approaching the halfway point, let's take a look at the leaderboard. We're no longer at the top. Ralph and Shapes now with 700, or still with 700, I should say. Stilgar's got the lead in the lobby game with 2950. Effrontery and Matt tied up in second with 2900. And we've got AB Me a little way behind with 1950. So, we've still not found any killers, but we've got a couple of players who are still yet to score after 4 questions, but all of that can change very, very quickly. The odds are, in fact, it's certain we're going to find a killer at some point. Let's see if we can also find some correct answers to go with them. Cola, welcome to the stream, and let's go back to our money box. Potential jackpot is still 76.50, I should say, and there's 69.50 left in play. Lupine going for the green coin on the right. And 10 seconds to have a chat before Shapes picks the category.
Right. Social etiquette. I don't know much about that.
Social etiquette.
You just turn up at a white tie dinner wearing trackies.
Pretty much. Shall we go for that?
Yeah.
Okay, let's have a look at social etiquette. Options. To the older person, or to the first person who arrived? And here is the question. According to William Henson's Just Good Manners Etiquette book, to whom should a newcomer be presented during an introduction? Is it the older person or the first person who arrived? 15 seconds in the audience, 45 seconds to chat it through. You have got a straw poll if you want it, and your time starts now.
I'm really lost here.
Like, what is the context here?
Yeah, a newcomer to what?
In
Like
social etiquette is what my notes say. So it could
This
be
is like,
the straw poll available.
To the
this is like a social circle who meets at regular occasions. This is like new arrivals to a party.
Is it like going to be the first person who arrived because they're somehow involved, somehow significant to what the gathering is, like they're the host or whatever?
By older person, do I mean just like old in age or older as in old?
The
Everyone
oldest
will be.
person
Everyone
there.
arrived earlier.
You'd
Time
think
is
so,
up.
the first person who arrived.
I'd say, yeah. I think it's logical to say. You're going to go via logic here and say it's going to be to the first person who arrived. Like,
Yeah.
What if
John's
we-
saying
what
in
if
the
we-
chat this is meetings in general.
Like, what if the newcomer is the oldest person? Therefore, it has to be
Wow.
to the first person who arrived.
I think William Henson hasn't considered this.
You should write to him. There is a straw poll available, but I do need a decision from you.
I think we're leaning towards the same answer here, aren't we?
To the first person who arrived.
Yeah.
Okay, let's lock in the first person who arrived. Straw poll is still available. Straw poll would have told you the other way had you polled it then. 78% think you should introduce someone to the older person first. Now, let's see. Are the audience going to get one in the bag, or are they still going the wrong way? I'm afraid the audience are right this time, and you've gone wrong. Yeah, so this is in social etiquette, and I'm being told it's William Hanson might be the name we should have here. Primary rule is to respect age, with younger individuals being introduced to older ones as a sign of respect. A secondary, though increasingly outdated guideline concerns gender. Traditionally, men were introduced to women, giving women precedence. So we should write to William. I think we should write to William Hanson and ask him to clarify exactly what he was talking about. Though I suspect it's slightly outdated now. It's a wrong answer. We've got a 50% chance that this coin is a killer. We've got 700 in our jackpot, and it is not going to go up. It might go down. Let's find out. What did you bring to your money box? And Tipster, welcome to the stream. Oh. Oh dear, oh dear. It's a 1500. That's 3 big values in a row and 3 incorrect answers. But again, it's not a killer. So the silver lining is you save yourself 350, but that 1500 that you could have won, I'm afraid you do not get, and it has to go out of the game. Okay, we are at the halfway point. We have still got some big values up, though. We've got the 2,000, we've got the 1,750 still there, the 850 still there as well. So, you know, there's still a good opportunity to build some cash. Potential jackpot stands at 6150 at the moment, with 5450 still left in the game. Let's go back to the money box, and Shapes, pick a coin, please. And for the purple one on the right, in it goes. 10 seconds to have a chat about the category, and then Lupine, it's your pick.
Right, I said it again, like bold pages, that sounds like literature. Are you good with literature?
I'm okay. I'm not sort of really, really strong, but I'm,
This ain't fresh air feels a bit nebulous.
yeah.
Which one do you prefer to go for at the point in time?
Let's do... Well, do one and I'll do the other one next.
Sounds a plan.
Okay, let's go for Sting at Zine. I'll go bolt.
Bold pages. Okay, well, let's see what the options are. War and Peace, Leo Tolstoy, or A Game of Thrones, George R.R. Martin. Either of you familiar with these books?
At least one of these books is very thick, and I think it's probably going to be which of these has the most pages or something.
Yes.
Interesting theory. It's a slightly more finessed question than that. Which novel has more named characters?
Oh.
War and Peace, Leo Tolstoy, or A Game of Thrones by George R.R. Martin? Now, no one would be expected to know that off the bat, but maybe you can logic your way towards a more likely answer. 15 seconds in the audience, 45 seconds to have a chat. You have still got your straw poll if you want to use it, and your time starts now.
Well, the TV series of The Game of Thrones has a lot of characters. All the different houses.
There was a dramatisation of War and Peace for the BBC, which was about 10 years ago, and that's got loads, because it's got like the sort of the bit that takes place in France, the bit that takes place in Russia.
Straw poll now available, by the way.
I have never read nor studied War and Peace.
I hear it's about Russia.
I would be leaning towards War and Peace, but just because I think there's a lot of characters in the Game of Thrones that aren't named. They're the sort of the kind of not spiritual but beings.
Do you think we should take a straw poll at this point?
I think it's something where the way everyone's gone, there might be something useful to read in that. So
You want a straw poll?
Straw poll.
Okay, let's run the straw poll. I'll give you a few extra seconds to have a think about it. Let's see how the audience voted. Okay, so 70% of the audience think A Game of Thrones, 30% think War and Peace. Although I would say the timer cut off before Shapes' suggestion that it was War and Peace came to the air. So, do you want to go with the audience, or do you want to stick with Shapes' initial instinct of War and Peace?
Now, this might be just down to the audience thinking, we have watched A Game of Thrones on telly, there are a lot of characters there, we haven't watched or read War and Peace, so we're just thinking it's going to be A Game of Thrones.
Because we're specifically looking at A Game of Thrones rather than the whole
saga
series.
Yeah.
Actually, that is a good point, actually, given that it's just the first novel in
Given that on TV it's all called A Game of Thrones.
Yes. So, like, the first series is probably based on the first book, and how many characters were there? How many were introduced in future series?
Yeah, and sort of the characters from books outside of A Game of Thrones.
I'm going to have to press you for an answer. What are you going to go for?
Shall we go for War and Peace? And it's
we'll go for War and Peace. You seem to know about this sort of thing.
Okay, we're going to ignore the audience straw poll and go with War and Peace by Leo Tolstoy. So we've already got the results. The audience don't agree. The audience think A Game of Thrones. Let's see. Were they right? Should you have gone with the straw poll? We feel ignored, says Proogs. Well, were they right to ignore you, Proogs? Or should they have ignored Shapes' hunch? Right to ignore the audience. Very well, Sleuth there. Shapes, you were right on the money there, and I was sort of nodding along with your trade of thought, and I'm hoping not to give too much away. I don't know if you're looking at me, but you're right. Game of Thrones, the TV show Game of Thrones, is based on the first book, A Game of Thrones, but you're absolutely right. There are a lot of characters in A Song of Ice and Fire, but they are drip-fed over the course of 4 or 5 books. In George R.R. Martin's... Oh, hello. Message from our sponsor, Sooty Cat.
Pro tip: always trust a crowd until they're wrong.
Solid advice, Sooty Cat. Always trust a crowd until they're wrong. Thank you for the 21-month subscription. So just to my notes here, in George R.R. Martin's 1996 novel A Game of Thrones, spans about 864 pages. There's roughly 218 named characters. By comparison, Leo Tolstoy's War and Peace from 1869 features around 600 characters, including members of the many rival families across its much longer 1,440 pages. So, good deduction there. Let's see if we can turn this around. We've had 3 wrong answers in a row. Now would be an ideal time to find a killer. Let's see. What did you bring to your money box? Okay. That is the turnaround we wanted. The 2,000 has been found on a correct answer, and that's going to go some way towards making up for losing those other values out of the game. Now, it would be remiss of me not to point out at this stage, you have still not found any killers. And you've only got 4 questions left to pick, or 4 coins left to pick, and there's only 6 up there. At the moment, 4 out of 6 of those coins are killers, 2/3 of them. So, scary times in your immediate future, but we're boosting that jackpot. Let's add 2,000 to the jackpot now. $2,700 is what you stand at. There's still a potential jackpot of $6,150 and $3,450 left in the game, along with 4 killers. To our leaderboard, you're climbing up a little bit. 2,700 sits you about in the middle. Still got the lead with 6,450. Effrontery in second with 6,400, and Galley in third with 5,400. Still 4 questions before the final, so now's going to be an opportunity. And Davidovich, welcome to the stream. Now is going to be when you're going to really want to start thinking about what do you want to leave to the final and what do you want to get rid of earlier. Also bearing in mind your odds of finding a killer are increasing by the minute, so you might want to play it safe and go for what might look like an easier category to avoid those penalties in case you're wrong. A lot of things to think about. Let's go back to the money box, and Lupine, can you select a coin for us? Purple on the left, and into the money box it goes. 10 seconds to have a chat about what's left, and then Shapes, you've got the pick.
Did we say we'll do This Ain't Fresh Air this time?
Yes. And we'll see what that comes up as.
Okay.
I mean, the coin, of course.
Indeed. This ain't fresh air. Let's take a look at your options. Kathmandu, Nepal, or Delhi, India. Now, I've heard of both of these places. I'm hoping you have as well.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's see. Where do we imagine this question's going if it's This Ain't Fresh Air?
Air pollution, air quality.
You'd think so.
Bang on. In Numbeo's 2025 Global Pollution Ranking, which city was identified as the most polluted? Kathmandu or Delhi? 15 seconds in the audience. Your straw poll is gone, but you've still got 45 seconds to have a little chat, and your time starts now.
So,
what's the population and what's the population density of these cities?
not a very big population, but it's also very small. So, and also sort of what measures has India been working on, sort of reducing pollution as sort of one of the most developed cities in the world as well. My instinct would be it's probably still Delhi, but
I mean, it's like bustling city, one of the largest in the world.
Just because of its sheer size. I think the size still counts for something.
Ah, yeah. Well, are we talking like the density of the pollution?
Yeah.
I'm going to give you one piece of information from the notes just to clarify that point that you've raised, without giving you the answers. But this global pollution ranking is done according to indices, if that helps in any way.
That helps in no way whatsoever.
Right.
Yes, it probably just means sort of, like you've got population density, it's pollution density, basically.
Yes.
And I would say still India, just because a smaller country with smaller population, even if it is a smaller area.
It feels like John like trying to trick us.
I think, not everything's going to be the counterintuitive, I guess.
Oh, you think he's double tricking us?
I am going to need an answer. What are we going for?
You can have it your way, Shapes.
Can we go for Delhi?
Go for Delhi?
Delhi.
Yes.
Okay, let's lock it in. See what the audience thought. Okay, audience look to be with you. 73% think Delhi, India. 27% go for Kathmandu, Nepal. Let's see. Are you and the audience right, or have you erred?
See, I told you he was trying to trick us.
There's double bluff going on. Yeah, Kathmandu tops Numbeo's 2025 pollution ranking with an index of 95.72, followed by Tetova in North Macedonia and Dakar in Bangladesh. Delhi ranks a relatively distant 13th. Those changes that you referenced earlier, Shapes, obviously having some impact. List also highlights severe pollution levels across Asia, driven by factors such as high particulate concentrations, traffic congestion, poor waste management, and unregulated industry. So, OM Dalton, welcome to the stream. It is a wrong answer, and we've got to hope that it is one of the two remaining non-killers, because otherwise we're going to cut your jackpot in half. Let's find out. What did you bring to your money box? Okay, that's about as good as it could be with a wrong answer. 350, which is one of the lower remaining values. And again, you have avoided a killer, which is great for this question, but it means with 3 questions remaining, there is only one non-killer coin still up there in the money box. 4 of those 5 remaining coins are killers. You are guaranteed to find at least 2 of them. It might be that the final 3 questions of the game are all killers. So, breath of fresh air for now, ironically, given the question, but let's take that 350 out of the game. Okay. 3 questions to go. Say again?
We dodged a bullet there.
You did. You've dodged a bullet, but you've got to get through 3 questions, and at least 2 of them are going to be killers. So, back to the money box. Shapes, I believe it's your pick. Going for the orange one on the left. 10 seconds to chat, and then Lupine, you've got control of the category.
Right, I think it's time to go with our safer choices then. We said we'd want to save excellent science to the end, as we'd have a guaranteed out for that one if it's what we think it is.
Well, only if it's what we thought it might be.
Shall we go for Sporty Showdown in that case? Are you good with sport?
I'm okay with sport.
Okay, Sporty Showdown.
Very much depends which ones, but...
Okay, Sporty Showdown. Hopefully thinking it's a relatively safe option. Let's take a look at the options. American football or ice hockey? These are both sports.
Yes.
Can confirm. Let's take a look at the question. Based on ESPN Page 2's much quoted toughest sports ranking, which sport is tougher to practice? Based on ESPN Page 2's much quoted toughest sports ranking, which sport is tougher to practice? 15 seconds in the audience, 45 seconds for you two to have a chat. Time starts now.
I'm guessing, but I was assuming American football just because of sort of how much padding they have to wear. I know they have to wear a lot in ice hockey as well, but... Well,
for ice hockey, I'm thinking you actually need ice, because it's a very regionalised thing. Either you live somewhere cold and there's a lot of ice in the winter, or you just have to find a hockey barn to play in, so you're a lot more restricted there. American football, you've got great...
I was taking the question to be like, which is more physically demanding?
That is a good point as well. American football...
Maybe we could get a clarification from John in the chat as to what this is about, or whether it's an overall aggregate of them. Cola, as proof of confirming, which is the tougher sport?
As in, like, hard. Well, I suppose it might depend on your position in American football, though.
Yeah, because most of them are just sort of running straight into someone else.
Yes.
John confirming both physically and mentally.
Mentally? Well, you've got to have a good eye if you're a quarterback, but if you're on the lines and all you have to do is just block your opposing player, but you've got to run the formation as well. Ice hockey, you've got to have an eye for the puck, so it's a very tough one.
What are we leaning towards? Because I do need an answer.
I'd lean towards American football just because it's also like outdoors, and like the training is sort of in American weather.
Yeah, and they have less games in the season as well, so I'd say that's more. Maybe it's more physically strenuous. Yeah, I'd go with American football.
American football?
Will we go for that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, let's lock it in. Over in the audience, they disagree with you, which has been a good omen in the past. 72% think ice hockey, 28% think American football. Let's see who was right and who was wrong. I'm afraid the audience were right this time. It is ice hockey. Ice hockey ranks as number 2. American football is number 3. Ranking continues with basketball, wrestling, martial arts, tennis, and gymnastics. And for a point, do you know what the top one is? The top ranking toughest sport?
Baseball?
Not baseball. Good guess.
Soccer?
Yeah, more physical.
What else is there?
Snowboarding?
I'll put you out of your misery. It's boxing. Boxing ranks in at the top as the ESPN Page 2's toughest sport. So, if this is not a killer, we are guaranteed killers for the final 2 questions. If it is a killer, we're about to lose half our jackpot. Let's find out. What did you bring to your money box? Yeah, we couldn't avoid them forever. It is a killer.
Yeah.
The one saving grace is that it is the lowest remaining value in the game. The 100 goes out of the game, but unfortunately you do lose 1,350 from your jackpot. That's a terrible shame.
What a shame.
What a shame. But let's add that killer to your jackpot. Jackpot's down to 1350. However, as I said, it is not the end of the game. You've got 2 more questions before the final. The 1750 is still there. The 850 is still there. But so are 3 killers. Once again, you've got a 75% chance, or not once again, but on this question, you have a 75% chance of finding a killer. Let's take a look at the leaderboard after 8 questions rather. 1350, still sort of middle of the road, sort of the bottom of the middle, but middle nevertheless. If Frontree now at the top with 6850, Stilgar's in second with 6550, Matt's in third with 5350. So, with 2 to go, let's go back to the money box. And Ralph, can you pick a coin, please? Then for the yellow one on the right. Okay, 10 seconds to discuss, and then a choice of category, please.
Okay. Mental dilemmas sounds a little bit like one that we might not want to keep till the end because it's a bit difficult.
I think mental dilemmas is the way to go.
Yeah, because we don't know what exactly it's going to be about, unlike the others.
Yeah.
Okay. Mental dilemmas. It is. Your options. An escape artist pack I left unfinished, or this completed money box pack. Where on earth is this going? I will tell you for nothing, it is not, despite what it looks like, a meta question. Where do you think this might be going?
Maybe it's like letter values, converting them into numbers, you know. I'm already doing a mental math in my head in case it is.
Well, I can tell you it's not, so I can save that mental arithmetic. This is more of a language question. Here it is. If I were experiencing the Zeigarnik effect, I would be more likely to remember the existence of what? If I were experiencing the Zeigarnik effect, I would be more likely to remember the existence of what? 15 seconds in the audience, 45 seconds to chat it through. Time starts now.
Which one of these would be more likely to have an effect?
So, the Zeigarnik effect, this feels like a psychology kind of thing.
someone's name. Like, escape artist effect I left unfinished. You know how there's that kind of archetype people make of like, oh, do you remember when you have dreams when you go to school and you realise you've not done any of the work? Is it something like that?
Do people only dream about that? When I went to school, it's because I actually hadn't done any of the work. But sorry, do continue.
It's basically it's the difference between something finished and something unfinished here.
Yeah, it's like a concept that we know people think of. I mean, I don't know for sure about either.
Time is
but it's
up.
one of those two options that is sort of like an identifiable thing.
What are we
that
going for
people
of the
sort
two?
of think about. So that's the one I'm leaning towards. I admit in the last few questions I've not had the best record on this though, so
Yes, but at least John is doing a good job with generating conversation.
He's certainly
Yes.
doing that. I very much enjoyed the conversations that you've been having and I've been heckling in on. I do need an answer from you. Which one are we going for? The Zygarnik effect.
are we naming escape artist?
Yes.
Escape artist?
Yeah.
Let's lock it in. How did the audience fare? Oh, nice. 69% of the audience agree with you.
We're
30
not Rob X Har.
31% go for Moneybox. You are in agreement with the audience. Were you both correct? Bang on! That's what we like at this point of the game, yeah. So you were right on the right track there, Shape. The Zygarnik effect, it's a psychological phenomenon discovered by a Russian psychologist named Bluma Zygarnik. It shows that people tend to remember unfinished or interrupted tasks better than completed ones. The effect suggests that starting a task creates cognitive tension, which keeps the relevant information active in memory until the task is completed. Once the task is finished, the tension dissipates and the memory fades. I think I get this all the time, which is why I've got 18,000 different unfinished projects, and my brain is just mush at this point. But it is the right answer. An escape artist pack I left unfinished, and John, grateful for the reminder that he has an unfinished the escape artist pack. Possibly why this question was put in, to remind him that he's got to finish that. Let's see. There is a 75% chance this is a killer. Now we really hope that with that right answer it is one. Let's find out. What did we bring to your money box? Okay, good. It is a killer. It's a decent chunk of change to 500. It's it's not the highest value that's left there, but I think it's pretty much in the middle. So that's good. Let's add 500 to our jackpot. We're up to 1850. With one question to go, there is still 1750 up there. There is 850 up there. There is 150 up there. So if you can get a right answer, you're guaranteed a jackpot of at least 2,000. If you can find the 1750, you could be getting as much as 3,600. If you find a killer and get it wrong, you're going to be left with 925. So this question is going to be going to result you somewhere between 925 and 3,600. Big decision to make. Let's go back to the money box, and for the final time, Shapes, can you pick a coin? The orange one on the right. Coin is locked in. Final chance to discuss which category you're playing now and which two you're leaving for the final.
So, excellent science, we keep it as our out.
As our hopeful mascot, yes.
So it's got to be between logging problems and that one cipher. I think we probably want to get with choose the one we're more sure of at this point in time to maximise our winnings ahead of the final.
Yeah. Logging problems, my guess is that's going to be like wood production.
Yeah, that seems a bit the kind of thing we'd say for the final. So I'm leaning towards that one cipher. What do you think?
I think that's the same as sort of what I was getting towards. But that's the one that we can't really put a thing on at this point.
Okay, that one cipher. Let's take a look at the options. Beautiful liar, or Destiny's Child? What on earth do we think this is? I can tell you.
What does one of these translate to in
I think it's
science?
Atbash Cipher.
That sounds like exactly what it could be. And I will say, just glancing at this question, this feels like it's eminently workoutable, but I may be wrong. 15 seconds in the audience, so they don't have quite as much time to work it out. So let me put you out of your misery and show you what this question is. What is the solution when you apply the Atbash cipher, that is, substituting the first letter of the alphabet with the last, the second with the second to last, and so on? What is the solution when you apply the Atbash cipher to the word girl and then use that result as the second clue?
So,
what is the solution when you apply the Atbash cipher to the word girl and then use that result as the second clue? You're already thinking, so I'm going to start the clock. 45 seconds starts now.
Trio. There was 3 members in Destiny's Child, weren't there? Kelly, can you handle this? Michelle, can you handle this? Beyonce, can you handle this?
The other 2 that they fired after early on, we don't talk about.
So, if you use the Atlas cipher on the word girl, you get trio.
Trio. So that's...
Okay, and then use that result as the second clue. So
the clue is Destiny's Child.
Yes.
We're thinking Destiny's Child.
Because
yes.
Beautiful Liar. There's no way you could get solved.
Yes, it's a trio of girls, Destiny's Child.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll just wait for the time to run out. We're going to lock in Destiny's Child?
Yep.
Indeed.
Well, the audience seem to agree with you. 70% going for Destiny's Child, 30% for Beautiful Liar.
We may have steered some of them.
Quite possibly. Let's take a look. Yeah, bang on. You're absolutely right. Trio, Destiny's Child. So a common trick to solve this quicker, incidentally, is to subtract 27 from the numerical position of each letter, which is only useful if you know the numerical position. I know them all up to 12. So L is 12. I know 18 is R, because that's a line in the film Batman Forever. But yeah, if you subtract 27, doing so gives the word trio, which perfectly fits Destiny's Child, a famous girl trio. On the other hand, Beautiful Liar. Do you know what Beautiful Liar is?
Song.
No.
It is a song. It's a duet between Beyonce and Shakira. So it could also be seen as a girl duet, but not as a trio. Well deduced. So 150, 850, 1750. You're going to be finishing up with somewhere between 2,000 and 3,600, depending which coin you brought to the money box. Let's take a look and find out what is behind that money box door. It's a 150. Never mind. It was one of the final killers, so had you got it wrong, then we'd have been having a super sad ending. But it is more cash. We do get, on the final question, a little boost at the end. And let's add 150 to our jackpot. And after 10 questions, friends, you have amassed 2,000 pennies into your jackpot. If you can walk away with that, I can tell you that will put you 8th on our leaderboard, just behind JR and Oni and just ahead of Woollyback and Shadowmane. I will remind you, you will get that value each in pennies, 2,000 pennies apiece, if you can bring that jackpot home on the end game. Let's just take a look at the leaderboard going into this. Effrontery has the lead with 7,500. My, that's a good score. Stilgar has 7,200. Matt has 6,000. But you've got it, but can you keep it? That is the name of the game. Those 2 categories that we left before, you are now going to be shown both of those questions, and you're going to attempt them in the same way you did before, with 45 seconds of discussion. I won't tell you if you're right or wrong after the first question, though. You've got to answer both of them in isolation. Now, if you get both questions correct, you win the jackpot and take home 2,000 pennies each. If you get both questions wrong, then you lose the jackpot and you're given a consolation prize of, I think, 25 pennies for each correct answer that you gave over the course of the quiz, which I think was 5. So that'd be 125 pennies. If you get 1 right and 1 wrong, I will tell you you have gotten 1 right and 1 wrong. You then have a choice. You can either swap one of the answers, and then we play it out as we would in the original, or you can walk away with half of your jackpot. That is the choice you will have to make if 1 is right and 1 is wrong. If you're both ready, it's time for the Moneybox finale. And we are starting with logging problems. And your options are 1 meter or 2 meters. It is mathematical. Let's see what you make of this. People once moved heavy loads using log rollers. If each identical log has a 1 meter circumference and makes 1 full turn, how far is the load carried forward? 15 seconds in the audience, 45 seconds to chat it through, and your time starts now.
Okay, so a circumference is the distance around the
that's
outside
the distance
of the
around
log.
the edge.
So if the log makes 1 full turn, then it's travelled 1 metre around. So that would mean the load that's on it would also have travelled 1 metre, right?
You'd think so. I'm trying. Makes 1 full turn. Yeah, if the thing's moved, because
Yes, like unroll the circumference of the log, it's 1 metre. If it makes 1 full revolution, and it's travelled 1 metre, it doesn't matter
so
how
you've got the same point in touching.
It has to be 1 metre.
Yeah, I can't see how it isn't, unless it's like a load on top of that, and it's sort of, if you can. I think I'm talking myself out of it. No, 1 metre.
What are we going for?
Yeah.
1 metre.
1 metre?
Yes.
Okay, let's lock 1 metre in. And put that question away. And go to our second one on excellent science. Now, this you were keeping as your ace in the hole, hoping Shapes' fun egg fact was going to come up. Let's take a look at your options. More than 10 minutes or less than 10 minutes? And your question. The University of Naples' study of 2025. How many minutes does it take to cook the perfect hard-boiled egg? Is it more or less than 10 minutes? 45 seconds. Time starts now.
Okay, redistributing the ace in the hole status to the first question. Now then, how long? How do you like your eggs in the morning?
Well, I mean, like a hard-boiled egg is like 6-7 minutes.
Nice.
Something like that.
I like mine scrambled, to be honest. But yeah, I'm leaning towards less than 10 minutes.
It's like even like 7 or 8 minutes. It's already like properly hard-boiled. There's no sort of.
I mean, do we Italians
sort of,
like their
it's
boiled eggs?
completely set, basically. Unless they've got a very unusual university idea of what a perfect hard-boiled egg is.
This is Naples we're talking about.
They could
Say
have
this
it-
is, I know
they
JL
could
said in the
use
chat,
it for some other purpose.
perfection is subjective, but this is according to the University of Naples' 2025 study, where they will have factored in the subjectification of it, I
Yes.
assume.
And are they just including the time it's in the water?
How many minutes does it take to cook the perfect hard-boiled egg? And I do need to get an answer from you.
Shall we? Are we still leaning the same way?
Less than 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Less than 10?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, let's lock that in. Okay, and there we have the wide shot where we can see the money box and ourselves. So, audience, at this point I have to remind you, no spoilers in the chat, because if you have got one right and one wrong, you have the same decision that Shapes and Lupine would have to make if they've got one right and one wrong, but your game happens first. So, no spoilers in the chat, nothing at all. Nothing to do with which answers were right, which ones were wrong, nothing to do with how well you've done. No spoilers at all in the chat, because you may know the outcome of the game before our players do. Let's show those answers. And audience, you have thank you, Lewis, an opportunity to potentially switch your answers. Those questions again. People once moved heavy loads using log rollers. If each identical log has a 1 meter circumference and makes one full turn, how far is the load carried forward? 1 meter or 2 meters? You said 1 meter. Second question, the University of Naples' study of 2025, how many minutes does it take to cook the perfect hard-boiled egg? More than 10 minutes or less than 10 minutes? You said less than 10 minutes. The audience answering has concluded. Let's find out. Is it the good ending, the bad ending, or as someone remarked in the chat, the fun ending? Good luck. Let's find out. It's the bad ending, friends.
Yeah,
We're down to 125. Go on, Shapes. Tell us about the first one.
The first one, it's going to be. It's not like rolling it on one log. It's like when you have lots of logs in parallel, and you sort of push something across the top of them.
Yeah, the key bit of information you miss as the rollers move forward, the point where they touch the weight shift backward by 1 meter per rotation, but at the same time the rollers themselves advance 1 meter per rotation relative to the ground, and then these two effects combine, so the weight moves forward 2 meters for every full rotation. As to the other one, the egg question, so researchers from the University of Naples have developed a precise method for cooking a perfect, in quotes, hard-boiled egg. Now, this technique accounts for the different ideal internal temperatures of the egg white and the yolk, which is approximately 185 Fahrenheit and 149 degrees Fahrenheit, respectively. It alternates the egg between boiling water and 86 degrees Fahrenheit water for 8 cycles, totaling, wait for it, 32 minutes, and the result is a golden yolk that is soft but not runny. These academics, they've got to make a meal out of making a meal. Oh, the things I do with words. Oh, friends, I'm so sorry it's not worked out, but you've been remarkable to have here. I've really enjoyed the conversation, and you get the very distinct honour of tying with me and Ash on the leaderboard, so
Nice.
that's an honour in and of itself. I would agree. Vertigo Scorecount, welcome to the stream. Look, I'm sorry it's not a happier ending, but I hope you've enjoyed the challenge and I hope you've had a good time.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
That first question's like real 1% club stuff.
I think that there's a little essence of 1% club style questioning in this game. It is that sort of thing where we don't just want questions where you either know them or you don't. You want stuff that's going to generate conversation. And I have to thank John because they're genuinely interesting questions. And it's been the bad ending for the two of you today, but. So hopefully we learned something along the way. We had a good time. I'm going to love you and leave you. I'm going to encourage you to go and get a consolation glass of cola or something, or a prosecco or a beer, but do stick around, and hopefully we'll see you in PowerPlay in a little while. And thanks again for joining me, and congratulations on your 125.
Thank you. Cheers, man.
Thank you.
So it's a bad ending for Shapes and Lupine, but they don't go away empty-handed. 125 pennies is what they're going to take away to their penny banks, and we need to have a look at the correct answers up there on the board. They're 2 meters, and the more than 10 meters is what we wanted. I forgot I have to supposed to click that button while the players are still in the room. Never mind. Now, our final leaderboard, because we've got a gold, silver, and bronze medal to give away. How did our audience get on in the end? It's Matt the Sprat, out of nowhere, who has taken the gold with 6 1,000 pennies, as if Matt needs any more pennies in the bank after his big lottery wins this season. But you do take the gold, Matt. Congratulations. It's Prugs who gets a silver with 52.50, and it's AB Me who takes the bronze with 4,200. And points equal pennies in this game. So for everyone on the certainly on the top couple of rows, that is going to be a decent windfall of pennies for you this evening. So huge congratulations, and spend them wisely. I'm just going to take a quick peep into the medal cabinet. Matt, that is your second gold in Moneybox. Congratulations. For Prugs, that is your first medal in Moneybox, and it's a silver. And for AB Me, that is also your first medal in Moneybox, and it's going to be the bronze. So very well done to you three on adding to your medal cabinet. Oh, it's been a roller coaster of a game. Friends, I need to go and recharge my glasses because it's very, very warm in here. I encourage you to do the same. Do stay hydrated. Yeah, we are going to continue this game night in about 5 minutes' time. We're going to be playing PowerPlay. It's only the second appearance of PowerPlay. Very grateful to Shadowmane, who's written the questions, and it's a shorter pack than the last one. Just 20 questions in this game, and hopefully I'm going to pick up the pace. That was one of the big pieces of feedback that came up from the last game, me picking up the pace. Remember, the Universal Controller will have a lot of things that you need to take in at the beginning, so do take the opportunity to read through the different powers and get yourself into a good place where you know what's going on. Here's a message from our sponsor, Puzzle Dan.
So you need to recharge your battery pack then.
I do indeed, just in time for the batteries to be charged in the next game. Thank you for the 100 bits there, Puzzle Dan. Big thanks once again to John for those questions, and to Cola for proofing them. I hope you've all had fun playing Moneybox. Game night continues in about 5 minutes' time with the second appearance of PowerPlay and questions by Shadowmane, proof by me. And I do hope you'll join me for that in just a few minutes' time. See you then. And an opportunity to grab some bonus pennies, 225 of them to be exact, contains intellectual discussion, which is exactly what we've just had. Many thanks once again to Lupine and to Shakes for joining me there, and big thanks to John as well. Now grab that bonus pennies, those bonus pennies, and when we return, we will be playing PowerPlay. Do make sure you've got the latest Unicon. 0.9.1 is the latest public build, and yeah, look forward to playing that with you very, very shortly. Don't touch that dial. We'll be right back.
did too. Now just what else are we supposed to do?
Take it cool now, Texas. Give me a chance. See, you're all mixed up because the jive's a dance.
Well, tell me some more. I'm a suck egg mule.
Well, put down that horn. We'll have dancing school.
Clap your hands. Swing out fine. Do the mule mix in. Step two, put it all together and you're doing the jive. Stop your feet. Swing out fine. Dance around a while, shake it, boogie, boogie style. Everybody's swinging when you're doing the jive. You can't play rummy or a bitch or a dummy. Don't let it bother you. But you'll be the king when the band begins to swing. You'll be the party, the life of the party. Do a bump. And you swing out fine. Talk a little bit, beat it up, make it fit. Everybody's happy when you're doing the jive.
Drop your feet and you swing out wide. Mess around a while, shake it, boogie woogie style. Everybody swinging when you're doing the jive. Can't play rummy or a bridge, you're the dummy. Won't let it bother you. 'Cause you'll be the king when the band begins to swing. You'll be a party in the heart of the party. Do a bump and you swing out wide. Rock a little bit, beat it up, make it fit. Everybody's happy when you're doing the jive.
Maybe something, but it's not the jive. Maybe something, but it's not the jive. Well, what is the jive? What is the jive? Why, man alive, the jive's the jive. I cut you some rips, and Gates did too. Now just what else are we supposed to do?
Take it cool now, Texas. Give me a chance. See, you're all mixed up because the jive's a dance.
Well, tell me some more. I'm a suck egg mule.
Well, put down that horn. We'll have dancing school.
Clap your hands. Swing out fine. Do the mule mix in. Step two, put it all together and you're doing the jive. Stop your feet. Swing out fine. Dance around a while, shake it, boogie woogie style. Everybody's swinging when you're doing the jive. You can't play rummy or a bitch or a dummy. Don't let it bother you. 'Cause you'll be the king when the band begins to swing. You'll be the party, the life of the party. Do a bump and you swing out fine. Talk a little bit, beat it up, make it fit. Everybody's happy when you're doing the jive.
Welcome back to the second part of this evening's game night, where it is time for PowerPlay. TZTN is the code you need. Get yourself logged in and then have a look through the instructions, because there's lots of information that you need to take in about how to play this game, because it is a game of strategy as well as knowledge, and everyone is likely to have a very different strategy in mind. And the earth-shattering kaboom, Stilgar, save that for Saturday when we've got DEF CON. While you're having a read, just keep one ear on me in the background as I go through the continuity. Coming up this Saturday, bit of a bumper stream now. As mentioned at the head of the things tonight, we've got Cryptex by Dogfish to kick things off. We've then got DEF CON and the End of the World with OM Dalton. We'll then be catching up on The Drain, heat number 6, I think it is, postponed from this evening, and we'll be wrapping things up with The Abyss, as written by Shadowmane. That's this Saturday, twitch.tv/royal_flush, 8 p.m. BST. While you're at it, Ash the Bash is back with season 20, I think Ash is up to now. He kicked things off last night with Who Dares Wins, and stream schedule, that's what I'm looking for. And he is back tomorrow evening with Wipeout and 1,000 Heartbeats, so do pop along for that. And next Wednesday, if you're about, he's got Aventura Okasa. Aventura Okasa? That's what his schedule says. I don't know what that is. But I'm sure it's going to be good fun, so do go give him a follow if you want even more quiz hijinks over with Ash. Welcome to Comradelac, TVP, Solar Espion, Silent Marie, Socially Bob, Benz J, and CJ Binks. All of you very, very welcome here this evening at Game Night. And Maxio, hello to you as well. Welcome to the stream. Okay, so hopefully you're having a good read of the instructions. There are full instructions on how to play this game on your device. So do be taking the time to read those now. I will give you an overview when we get into the game in just a minute, but an idea of what all the powers do and how to play the game is available on the Universal Controller. So do have a little read before committing to your powers. I will then go through what everyone has chosen in just a minute. There have been a couple of changes to this, but nothing substantial. Mainly one or two graphical tweaks. The first one being the battery bar is now solid grey. Thank you to Prudes for that suggestion, rather than translucent. There'll be a little strap that comes in the bottom right-hand corner above the question to remind you what powers you can play at any given time. And as mentioned before, we are doing 20 questions rather than 25. I will urge you, don't try and use up all your powers in the first 5 questions. It is very easy to do that. But you use them how you see fit. But you've got 20 questions, so try and make them last. General top-level overview of the game is that it's a bit like the last round of Risky Business. For every question that you see, you get increasingly more points. But those points are not safe until you discharge them into your power bank. There are a few ways you can discharge your points. The most obvious way is by hitting the discharge button when the category is shown. You'll pick it up, Epic Galley, don't worry. It's basically a multiple choice quiz where you've got some lifelines. It's the sort of long and short of it. But those lifelines, there's a lot of lifelines to pick from. But yeah, basically, the yellow number, that's what you want to be as high as possible. So select your powers, and I'll go through those powers in more detail. I'm going to wait for a few more people to join before I go on to the powers overview screen. It's a bit like, it's a sort of a bit like a macrocosm of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, I suppose, but you get to pick which lifelines you choose. And as you can see, there are a number of different lifelines. There's 4 different types of power. Not lifelines, got legally distinct lifelines. 4 different types of power as recognised by the colours blue, yellow, green, 5 even. Blue, yellow, green, red and purple. You can only have a maximum of 1 purple because those are traits which affect all of the scoring in the game, whereas all the others are single use, apart from the blue one, continuous discharge, which will refresh every 5 questions. You have got some presets if you're feeling a bit overwhelmed by, if you're getting a bit of choice paralysis, there are some presets that you can select, or you can pick them completely at random. I wouldn't necessarily advise picking them completely at random, but one of the presets as to whether you're a slightly more cautious player or a slightly more of a risk-taking player, those presets are there for you to explore. Question difficulty order is random. It is randomized on purpose. You'll get a category and a question, and each question has got 4 options. So, let me introduce you to the powers that you can choose this evening. 20 Cola. I can't tell if you're being sarcastic because I've definitely said that more than once, but there are definitely 20 questions tonight. Yeah. I assumed you weren't being sarcastic, but it's entirely possible that I've said it about. I feel like I've said that too much already, so I'm trying to drill the point. That's all good. All good. I'll stop digging that hole, shall I? Let's take a look at the powers you can choose from. So first of all, continuous discharge. This is the default power. Everyone gets one of these at the start of the game, and this will move your points from the battery charge into your power bank. It will reset your overcharge. That's your sort of increaser, if you like, and it will reset your battery charge, so you start building up again from 0, and that power will refresh every 5 questions. Okay, so you can discharge once it's played. You don't get it back for 5 questions, so you're going to have to try and get consecutive correct answers or use other powers. Onto the free choice powers then. So you've got 3 preliminary powers to choose from. The first is discharge, exactly the same as continuous discharge, it's just an extra one. So if you feel like you might want to discharge more than once in any set of 5 questions, that can be a useful extra discharge that you can have there. You can only play that if continuous discharge isn't available, okay? Because obviously continuous discharge comes back. There's no point in using a one-time power if you can use a multi-time power. Partial discharge, similar. This will move half of your battery charge into the bank, but it won't reset your overcharge. The overcharge, again, is the sort of the accumulator. You get that increases every question. So the higher the overcharge, the more points you're going to get for the question. So that's really useful. If you want to hedge your bet slightly, bank some of your money, some of your cash, some of your power charge, but keep that streak going. That's the partial discharge there. And the Jolt, this is one that if you see the category and you think, I really like this one, play the Jolt. If you get it right, you will get an extra 10 points for the question. That's flat rate, play it at any time. Best bet is to play it on a question you think you're going to know the answer to. Into the live powers. Circuit Breaker is the first. You see a question that you are committed to. If you don't know the answer and you don't want to risk your charge, play your Circuit Breaker. And it's basically a pass. Gets you out of the question, maintains your overcharge, maintains your battery charge. A word of warning, you can use that if you don't have any battery charge. I would advise against that because there is no point passing the question if there is nothing at risk. But the system will let you do it. So think carefully. If you think, I've only got a little bit of battery charge, I'm going to save that Circuit Breaker for a bit later on when I've got a bit more at stake. That's what you want to think about with that power. Capacitor, this is effectively a trust the mob if you've played 1 versus 100, and it means you don't have to answer the question, and you're going to go with the wisdom of crowds. If more than half of the players in the total game get it right, then you get it right. If not, then you get it wrong. Okay? Filter. This is effectively a 50-50. It will get rid of 2 of the 4 options and leaving you with just 2. Bear in mind with that one, you will have to press filter and then you will have to press one of the options. So you need to have 2 actions for that. And if you play that too late, it won't activate. Okay, if you play it in the last 5 seconds, it will not activate, and it will become it'll just bounce back. Okay, so just bear that in mind. So those are powers that you play when the question is live. Not when the category is live, when the question is live. They're ways to get out of the question or make the question easier. Okay, going into our protection powers. These are the red ones. 3 of these to choose from. Now these are questions, these are powers that are always active. They're sort of passive. Passive powers. If you get a question wrong, then they will protect you in some way. For this one, if you get a question wrong, it will immediately fire the question back to you and give you another shot at it. So this is sort of like a double dip in Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. Bear in mind that, again, that won't activate if we're very late into the question, if there's only 3 seconds left. If you have multiple protection powers, and this is important, this one takes first priority. Okay, so relay circuit kicks in first, then the next one, then the one after that, if you've got more than one. Surge Protector, that's basically if I get the question wrong, you protect your score. No other changes, it's just basically a free answer. You don't get any more points, it's not treated as correct, so you don't get the points for it, but you protect your battery charge and your overcharge. Trip Switch, this is one of the only other ways you can bank points out. If you get the question wrong, it will short circuit, that would be a good name for it, and it will put all of your battery charge into the bank. So you're still going to be restarting, building up from 0, but the points that you'd amassed will be safe. That is a very useful last fallback option. That is third priority. And finally, into the traits. These are powers that permeate the entire game. So that's why everyone is limited to exactly one of them. Overload is the first one. This is for the final 5 questions, questions 16 to 20, that will increase their value, their base value, by 5 points. So this is for people who want to make a last-minute comeback. That is what Overload does. High Voltage simply increases the value of all 20 questions by 1 point for the entire duration. Finally, Power Surge. If you get a streak of 5 questions right in a row, you are given a 10-point bonus into your battery, not into your bank. You still have to discharge it. That power will apply even with a reduced overcharge value, so you can discharge your battery charge without your consecutive streak being affected. Okay, so basically you can get 3 right, then discharge. If you get another 2 right consecutively, that power surge will still apply. So that's the overview of the powers. Oh yes, the room code now shows up in between every question. So for this first question, the only power you're realistically going to be able to play is Jolt, if you've got it. Okay. and this will give you an extra 10 points. I'm going to try and motor things along from this point on. I don't want to spend too much time going through all of the information, though I do get it all. I'll try and parse the important bits so that we can get this game moving at a slightly better pace than last time. Good luck to you all. This is PowerPlay, as written by Shadowmane. Let's begin the game. First category is physics. So available powers down there. You've got 10 seconds to make your decision as to what you're going to do with physics. No, Surge Protector does not. So the protection powers only apply, BC, if you have got more than 0. That's a very good point that I missed. There's a lot of information in this game, so forgive me for missing the bit. Yes, if you don't have anything in your battery bar, the protection powers won't activate because there is nothing to protect. So that's by design. However, if you've even got like 2, then it will kick in. All right, so it's possible to have 2. Anyway, physics is the question. Let's reorder you alphabetically, and as we can see, our powers up there. Here is your first question. Bernoulli's principle is a key factor in which of these branches of physics mechanics? Is it quantum mechanics, thermodynamics, electrodynamics, or fluid dynamics? 15 seconds. Time. Correct answer. It's fluid dynamics, named after Daniel Bernoulli, a Swiss mathematician. It's a principle which dictates that an increase in the speed of a horizontally moving liquid is linked to a decrease in pressure. Most players getting that one right. And we'll put the points into the batteries. Quite a few players getting 6 with that overall trait. A number of them getting 5 and a few players getting it wrong. On we go. Our next category is economics. Do we want to discharge or jolt? Partial discharge? Now is the time to make that decision. 10 seconds. PvP's jolting here. I've added a very subtle pulse into it as well. And Conradlak is going for a partial discharge. It is very, very subtle, but there is a slight pulse in the power that is active, and that pulse will clear down when I reorder the board. So a jolt from TVPs, hoping for 10 extra points here, and Conradlak putting half their points into the bank. Conradlak with an early lead of 3 in the bank. Let's take a look at the question. Which of these currencies would yield the highest numerical value if you converted £100 sterling? Computer, thank you. Euros, Australian dollars, Swiss francs, or US dollars? Powers available there. 15 seconds, starts now. Relay circuit, trip switch, relay circuit, trip switch, surge protector, filter. Lots of powers being activated on this question. Time. Lots of powers getting activated, and hopefully you can see the very soft pulse of the ones that did come in. It doesn't appear to be doing the red ones, but that's probably a bug. Someone note that. Correct answer. It's Australian dollars. Australian dollars, you'd get 188 of them from £100 sterling. Swiss francs, you get 106. US dollars, 134. And euros, 115 and a half. 115.5. Well, let's put any discharge into the power bank. Okay, some things to use. So TVP using a filter there. And CJ going for a circuit breaker. A lot of protection powers coming in, but we've got players discharging Stilgar and Silver Electron discharging 6, Clive and Flyboy discharging 5. And a message from our sponsor, Sooty Cat.
All rates correct at time of broadcast.
All rates correct at time of broadcast, absolutely right. Next category. Ecology, from economics to ecology. 10 seconds to make a decision. A couple of the continuous discharges being played here, and a partial discharge from Tipster. Yeah, could someone note the... I think red powers are not pulsing upon activation. Could someone note that in bug reports, because that's an easy win, but I do need to add it in. Okay, let's discharge any points that need to be. Marcini into the lead now with 15. Colin, Ralph and Sophie and Uni Conrad with 13. Let's take a look at the question. Which of these is not the name of an invasive plant species? Japanese stilt grass, Senegal tea plant, African webweed, American skunk cabbage. Powers available down there. 15 seconds. Time starts now. Time. The correct answer. A lot of wrong answers up there. African webweed. That one was made up by Shadowmane. The other three are real invasive plants. Let's update the scores. So what's gone on there? There are a lot of powers being used there. A lot of relay circuits coming in there, so players being able to get a second attempt. Pyropinda going for a filter. And then still playing a circuit breaker as well. Interesting. Proogs went for a capacitor. Unfortunately, it failed because not half the players got it right. But Puzzle Dan did discharge 6, and Matt the Sprat discharged 13. Let's put them in the bank. Okay, Marcini still with the lead as we go to category number 4. Mythology. Available powers there. Time to use it. Starts now. Remember, continuous discharge will refresh after 5 questions. Time. 2 jolts coming in from Natter and Silver Electron, hoping for a correct answer and 10 extra points. Let's take a look at the question. Which of these was not one of the 3 Graii, the 3 grey-haired sisters in Greek mythology? Penfredo, Dino, Stethno, or Enyo? 10 seconds. 15 seconds even. Time. The correct answer. Sethno. Not quite sure I'm pronouncing that quite right. Sethno was one of the 3 Gorgons, along with Uriela and Medusa. Panfredo, Dino, and Enyo were the Grey. Again, thank you, Shadowmane, for that fun pronunciation. See what's happened. Again, a number of protection powers coming in there. JR going for a filter on that question. And I guess ultimately finding the right answer. Yes, he did indeed. 3 discharges coming in from trip switches. Woollyback discharging 11. Likewise, effrontery. BC discharging 5. Okay, Marcini still with the lead of 15. We've got a number of players, though, who've got a decent power bank. Brisbane and JRPG. Last question. After this question, your continuous discharge will refresh. They don't stack, though, so use it or lose it. If you've got points in the bank and you're feeling, I might want to discharge before question 10, now would be a good time to do one because you get it back after this one. Your next category is food and drink. 10 seconds to make a decision. Time starts now. JR, Brisbane, Maxio, Stimpson, Pyro, Matt, all activating that discharge. Lupine's going for a jolt on this question. Let's discharge the points into the bank now. And Brisbane and JR into the lead with 21. Power Viper in second with 19. Simpsons Angle in third with 18. Question on food and drink. Number of players discharging points and Lupine hoping for a bonus 10 here. Let's take a look. What kind of food is gravlax? Is it meat, bread, salad, or fish? 15 seconds. Time. Correct answer. It's fish. Shadowmane saying you've probably seen the 3 mobile network ad so many bleeding times now, so you already know that Gravlax is salmon cured with sugar, salt and dill. I don't think I've seen the 3 advert, but I don't watch a huge amount of telly, which is ironic for someone who works in television. Sutticat, welcome to the stream. Let's update the board. Just Epic Galley losing 5 points from their battery charge on that one. A few players who had nothing in the battery charge getting it wrong. That is the battery order. ABME and Cola leading the charge, no pun intended, with 26. Let's reset. Okay, your continuous discharge has been refreshed. So if you've used it, you've now got it back, and you've now got an opportunity to discharge any points that are in the bank if you want to. Next category. Cereal brands. Cereal brands. 10 seconds to make a decision. Time starts now. Time. Rack and Vertigo both using a partial discharge. We will put half of your battery into your power bank. Let's do that now. And let's take a look at the question. Tony the Tiger is an anthropomorphic tiger and mascot for which cereal brand? Shreddies, Frosties, Cheerios, or Lucky Charms? 15 seconds. Almost jolted that category. I wish I had. Well, yes, it was indeed Frosties. Most players getting that one right, and they're great. Vertigo mimicking me in the chat before I'd even got there. Nicely done. Very well done. Let's update the board. Cola and AB Me, I'm getting a purple log because they have gotten 5 right in a row, and they have been rewarded with a bonus 10 points because they have got that power surge trait. They are now up to 45 points on their battery charge and still going strong. They've both still got 1 trait, 1 power, and that continuous discharge still available, so I don't suppose they've got any incentive to bank at this point because the trip switch will do that for them. But there's only points in the bank that are going to count at the end. We will bank your points automatically if you have any left over after the 20th question. JR and Brisbane still in the lead with 21. Let's take a look at our next category. Their breakfast. Song lyrics. Song lyrics, 10 seconds. Frontry going for a jolt. Lupine, CJ, Clive, Silver Electron discharging on this category, as is Stilgar. Let's move those points into the power bank now. Effrontery looking for a correct answer. Ralph taking the lead now with 36 points in the bank. Very nicely done. Only the 2 powers left, one of which is a trait. Let's take a look at this question on song lyrics. I got you, moonlight, you're my starlight, is the first line of the chorus of which Dua Lipa song? Love Again, Physical, Levitating, or Houdini? 15 seconds. It's a circuit breaker, a trip switch, another trip switch. So 2 trip switches going off, so we're going to have some bank at the end of this question. Overcharges your streak bonus, Proogs. So if you get 3 right in a row, you're going to be getting +3 for the next question. You get a baseline of 5 for every question. If you, yes, essentially questions in a row, essentially. There's a couple of edge cases if you've used relay circuit and whatnot, but yeah. Time up. Yeah, it's all good. I appreciate it. There is a lot of jargon in this game. Correct answer is levitating. As someone who probably couldn't point Dua Lipa out of a lineup, this is not something I was familiar with. Let's put any points into the bank and see what's happened. Ooh, we got some noises there. So, 3 circuit breakers. Dalton, Fetz and Prugs abandoning that question but preserving their streak. 2 trip switches from Cola and Colin. Their points would have gone in automatically. And Vertigo, your surge protector kicked in because you abstained. Abstention is treated as wrong, so you will have used that power at this point. Cola and Colin both discharging, and Cola discharging a massive 45 points there, and Colin discharging 13. Very well played. With that, Cola's going to take the lead with 45. He's used all of his optional powers, just that continuous discharge. Is that lead going to be enough as we go to category number 8? International culture. 10 seconds to make a decision. Starts now. A lot of players at this point taking the opportunity to discharge. Stilgar actually going for a regular discharge here. A lot of players using continuous discharge to get what points they've got into the bank now. Let's put them in there. Okay, 21 from Effrontery, 21 from Tipster, 21 from Socially Bob, and 21 from Con Radlac. Those were the 28 from Green Day as well. That would be the highest there. So well done. Those points have gone into the bank. Let's take a look at the question. In which country are you most likely to witness a water puppet performance? Indonesia, Vietnam, Malaysia, or Thailand? 15 seconds. Need to clear my logs because there's powers happening. Couple of trip switches, couple of circuit breakers coming in there. The correct answer. God, I discharged. That's what this game's about. It's making the right decision at the right time. The correct answer was Vietnam. A tricky little question that. Yes, Vietnamese water puppets is a thing. In fact, Vietnam is the only place out of these 4 where you are likely to witness a water puppet show. The performing art does not exist outside of Vietnam. Very well done if you got that. Let's put any points into the bank that need to go there. And L now has the battery charge lead, and still with a couple of helps available, a couple of powers available. 29 in the battery at the moment. JRPG and Power Viper both with 21. Filter circuit breaker, and a failed capacitor from Silver Electron there. Bad luck. You are going to lose everything that was in your battery charge because the majority did not get there. But Dalton discharging 11 and ABMe discharging 55 into the bank. That is almost certainly going to give ABMe the bank lead, but the battery lead currently going to L. Let's reorder the board. Indeed, ABMe now in the front with 55, just peeping ahead of Cola, but we're not quite at the halfway point yet. A lot of the powers have been exhausted, but we've still got another 12 questions to go. Let's take a look at category number 9, Sport. 10 seconds to make a decision. Absolutely not, says JR. Discharge is coming in from JR, Rack, Matt the Sprat, Stimson Zangle, and Pyro Pygmy. Let's move those into the bank. Sport, he chuckled. Love it. Okay, here's your question. In which golf course is the Masters contested? St Andrews, Pebble Beach, TPC Sawgrass, or Augusta? 15 seconds. You windmill slam. Time. Well, despite the aggressive discharge there, my goodness me, that's a sentence I've said. A lot of players getting this one right. The correct answer is Augusta. I believe this came up in the drain. Oh, it was data. Was it data leak? I thought this came up in the drain last week, possibly. I remember seeing a similar question to this quite recently, but yeah, held in the first week of April, contested over a full week, 3 practice days and 4 competition days. Despite the aggressive discharge there, it was Green Day's the first to get that in. Vertigo just coming in behind with just aggressive discharge like those. Should have been question 4. Very good. Let's reorder the board, see what happened there. Nothing of substance. A few players getting it wrong, but they didn't lose anything because they had nothing in their battery charge. Anyway, according to my notes here, Shapes with the battery charge lead of 26. And AB Me with the bank lead of 55. Continuous discharge will refresh after this question. So if you've still got one and you've got some points in the bank, now might be a good time to use it. If you want to lock those points up and keep them safe, let's take a look at the next category. The rather vague celebrities. 10 seconds. Unsurprisingly, a lot of continuous discharge being played there. Dalton, AB Me, Cola, Maxio, Woollybat, Prug, Shapes and Colin. It will be refreshed after this question anyway, so you might as well use it while you've got points in the bank at risk. Let's put them in there now. No changes at the top. Let's take a look at the question. As what is JP Karliak a famous name? Or in what is JP Karliak a famous name? Author, talk show host, chef, or actor? 15 seconds. Couple of capacitors, couple of circuit breakers, one or two filters being played as well. Whomst. Yes, whomst. Whomst ist. Correct answer. They are a actor. A actor indeed. I have no further notes, but they're one of these modern new people who I'd never heard of, and it looks like a lot of people didn't either. Let's reorder the board. Find out what happened. A couple of circuit breakers coming in from Stilgar and Puzzle Dan. Two capacitors being played from Clive and Conrad. Like, unfortunately, they both failed. Sofsly using a relay circuit. Green Day using a relay circuit. So obviously guessing once and then getting another attempt at the question. Did they both get there in the end? Doesn't say in my notes. Oh, you will know, though. You will know amongst yourself if your second attempt got there. It looks like they do, because actually you're both green on graphics, so that's good. Let's reorder the board. AB Me still out in front with 60. Not a huge amount of points in the bank. 13 looks to be the lead at the moment from Sofsly and Puzzle Dan. Let's see if they can maintain that lead as the continuous discharge is refreshed and we go to our next category. Category. 20th century UK history. 10 seconds to make a decision. Green Day, Dan, Stilgar using that continuous discharge early doors. 11, 13 and 6 points. 11 for Green Day, 13 for Dan, 6 for Stilgar going into their power banks. Let's take a look at this question. Prominent in the 1970s, the Hackney Flashers were a group of what? Nudists, photographers, electricians, or models? 15 seconds. Circuit breaker from Natter there. Trip switch from Sofsly Bob. And a circuit breaker from Matt as well. So circuit breaker obviously passing on the question, protecting your overcharge and your battery charge. Correct answer. They were photographers. Photographers was the correct answer. Let's update the scores to see what that's done to the standings. So yes, Natter and Matt circuit breaking there. Sofsly Bob is discharging on that question for 13 points with the trip switch. So 13 points going into the bank there, Sofsly Bob. Very well done. And L has the battery charge lead with 18 at the moment. A decent bank behind as well with 35. Let's go on. Okay, question number 12. Take a look at this. Board games. Opportunity to discharge some points now, or play a jolt if you still have one. 10 seconds. Starts now. Just looking around. Doesn't look like anybody does have a jolt anymore, so it's going to be discharge or partial discharge at this point. There's a couple of continuous ones being played. CJ and Colin. Let's put your points into the bank. 5 for CJ, 13 for Colin, moving up the ranks slowly but surely. And let's take a look at the question. Which of these words is worth the most when played in an English language version of Scrabble? Money, box, drain, or power? I like this question. 15 seconds. Those, of course, being the 3 games we were supposed to play tonight. Of course, drain has been postponed, but Moneybox, the drain, PowerPlay. Time. Second guessing myself now. One second, I'm just going to check something. Because I am slightly second guessing myself. Ah, no, that's why. It's fine. My notes are wrong, the question is fine. The correct answer... Yeah, no, no bonus tiles. It's box. I was second guessing myself because I definitely checked this when I proved this, and it was definitely box was clearer of the others, but my notes are actually incorrect. My notes say that box is worth 12, which is correct, but the calculation is wrong. It says 1 plus 1 plus 10. It's actually 3 plus 1 plus 8 for box, which will give you 12. Money and power will both score you 10 points. 3 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 4 for money, and 3 plus 1 plus 4 plus 1 plus 1 for power. Drain only scores 6 points. 2 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1. Yeah, box with the 8 for X and 3 for B would be your best play out of those 4. Let's update the board. Vertigo using a filter there, which is that the 50-50 one? Filter. I can't even remember my own terminology. There's so many of them. You play the filter and then not play another answer? Oh, you did get box. It just doesn't say because you got it right. It doesn't log it. So yes, Vertigo using a filter and managing to find it with the 50-50. Matt losing 6 there. Dalton and Shapes losing 5. Let's reorder the board. L has got the lead in the power bank with 26. Still 2 discharges available. Here's a message from our sponsor G. Isons to interrupt the tension.
Tim Curry says it's 1 plus 2 plus 2 plus 1, but that doesn't add up to 65.
It does not, but thank you.
601 thing.
Thank you very much for the 65 monthly subscription there, G. Isons. Most grateful to you. Okay, we go to not question, category number 13. Take a look at this. ABME still with the bank lead. Cultural landmarks. Cultural landmarks. 10 seconds. What are you going to do? Lots of discharge immediately. Cola, Fetz, Natter, Proogs, Epic Galley. JR going for a partial discharge here. I really need to log what the partial discharge is because JR has 13 at risk at the moment, so you're going to bank 7 and keep 6 in play. Pyro, Socially Bob, Vertigo and TVP also discharging. Let's put them into the bank. Okay, Cola has the lead with 61, just a point ahead of ABME. ABME has got that discharge, but no points in the bank, so it's only as good as it could be with points there. Lots of players discharging points. I think Vertigo getting the most out of that with 18. Very well done. Let's take a look at the question. The iconic terracotta army belonging to Emperor Qin Shi Huang is located just outside which Chinese city? Xi'an, Guilin, Chengdu, or Guangzhou? 15 seconds. I think my Chinese pronunciation there was a solid 8 out of 10. But do correct me if you disagree. Time up. Thank you, Vertigo. The correct answer was Xi'an. And I have a note here. Shadowbane went to see these statues in May 2024 during his visit to China. Son of a bitch. The soldiers were a funerary art form, with Emperor Qin Shi Huang believing that with these soldiers being erected, they would protect him in the afterlife. Xi'an. Thank you, Dan. Xian is the correct answer. Let's update the board and see what that's done. Clive losing 11. Oh, Green Day losing 11 and Stimpson losing 11 points on that. Very bad luck indeed. JR losing 6. Lupine going for a filter. And did Lupine get it right after filtering? I can't see. Yes, Ralph, you're up there near the top. Yes, indeed you did. Now look at this. L with 35 in the bank and also 35 at risk. A strategic bank at this point would give you the bank lead. I'll leave it up to you as to what you want to do. You have still got those 2 discharges there and continuous discharge refreshes in 2 questions time. Ralph and Tipster both with 21. Ralph slightly ahead with the bank lead, 36. So, very, very interesting. And of course, we will have the end gameplay where anyone who's got the overcharge power is going to be getting more questions for the final 5. Let's take a look at category number 14. Decide if you want to bank. It's geology. Available powers there. 10 seconds to decide. Rack, aka L, wasting absolutely no time hitting that continuous discharge button. Lupine, effrontery, Woody back, and Alexander doing likewise. Let's put those points in the bank. Lupine banking 21, Woody back 18, Alexander 13, effrontery 11, and Rack banking 35. That has given them the bank lead of 70. And here's a message from our sponsor, Sooty Cat.
This category rocks.
Very good indeed. Thank you for the 100 bits there, Sooty Cat. Okay, geology is the category. Let's take a look at the question. What is the most common colour of the quartzite rock aventurine? Is it blue, red, green, or yellow? 15 seconds. Relay circuit coming in from Conradalac there. Yeah, so it's showing the relay circuit has been used, but it's not pulsing. So yeah, that is a bug. Okay, time. Sell this little fucker at work, nobody buys it. Do you indeed, Clive? The correct answer is green. So despite selling it at work, did not get the right answer. And a message from our sponsor, Owen Dalton. Ah.
Geology questions are like getting blood from a stone.
Very good. Thank you very much for the 6-month resubscription there with Prime. And kicking off second hype train of the stream. Very exciting. Correct answer was green on that one. They bought it actually recognise it. Yeah. Oop. Indeed. Let's reorder the board. And we can see with a lot of discharge, not a lot of discharge pre-question, we've not got a lot of bank, but Ben does have the battery lead now with 26. A lot of players losing points. Tipster losing 21 on that one. Bad luck there, my dude. Conradlat losing out on 13. Stilgar losing out on 13 as well. That's a very painful, costly question by the sounds of it. Never mind. Let's move on. Continuous discharge will reset after this question. 8 Minky, welcome to the stream. So if you've got one and you've got some battery charge that you want to get rid of, there's only a couple of people I might be speaking to here. Now is a chance to play it because they don't stack and you're only going to get one more discharge before the end of the game. So it could be an optimum time to use it. The category is electoral systems. 10 seconds. Time starts now. No, there's not cola. It will automatically discharge after question 20. BC saying they're going to live dangerously. Dad is going to discharge their 6. Yeah, so yes, you do get a free discharge. Stop it, Lewis. It's supposed to be a mod. Behave. Yes, it will anything you've got in your battery, it will discharge at the end of the last question. Okay, so Dan just banking the 6 there. You're not a mod, but you still need to behave. And Dan moving up into the top 10, 7th at the moment with 46. Eyes on BC, quite far down with the power bank, but is going to be amassing points at a faster rate, especially if he's going to live dangerously. L has the lead with 70. Let's take a look at the question. In a preferential voting system, what is the term used when a voter ranks candidates in the order by which they appear on the ballot paper? camel vote, ass vote, donkey vote, horse vote. 15 seconds. Time starts now. And Rack's Surge Protector coming in there, going to protect their 5 points, but it is a wrong answer. The correct answer is a donkey vote. The long and short of it is if someone was the first position on a political ballot and someone was the second, someone else third, and so on, you vote them purely based on their positions of the ballot. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is known as a donkey vote, rather than voting for them based on their policies or their political standpoints. Oh, hello, footrest number 2. Got footrest number 2 down here. Let's update the board. Yeah, Rack Surge Protector coming in there, protecting your 5 points. It was a wrong answer, but those points are safe, but you have triggered that Surge Protector. Oh, BC! In fact, this warrant's actually going on to a different page. Fluffy Bunny, welcome to the stream. BC losing out on 26 points. Could have discharged there and was about to get it back. Everyone is going to get it back after this question. So, we come to the final 5. So, if you have got, and there goes that hype train, if you have got the Overload trait, which is the one characterized by, it's a little timery thing. I think it's the one Vertigo's got. So, if you look at Vertigo at the top of the second column, I think it's that one. So people with that overload who are looking to make a comeback at the end of the game include Stimpson's Angle, Vertigo, Shapes, Clive, CJ, and apologies if I've missed anyone, they're very small. Note and bugs, I need to debug when the overload activates, debug who's got it, just to build tension in the game. So, continuous discharge has refreshed. You've got one more discharge between now and the end of the game. Anything you've got left at the end of the game will be automatically discharged. Let's go to category number 16. Fictional animals. 10 seconds. Cola, Alexander, CJ Maxio, Epic Galley, Effrontery, and Sofsly Bob. All playing that continuous discharge early, wrapping up the points that they've got. Let's put them into the bank. No change at the top. L still has the bank lead. Here is your question. What species of bird was the inspiration for the protagonist in the Rio duology of movies? Blacknate Oriole, Spix's macaw, Summer Tanager, or Puerto Rican Toddy. 15 seconds. Shape's going for the capacitor, which is, that's the trust the mob, isn't it? I think. Correct answer. Spix's macaw was the right answer. Shapes is going to be very relieved to see a lot of green up there on that board. Let's reorder it. And indeed, so Shapes, the capacitor prevailed, and that was treated as a correct answer. Puzzle Dan losing out on 6. Proogs losing out on 5. So, Natter has got the battery lead with 18. Decent chunk in the bank as well with 40. 3 players with 16. Stimpson, Vertigo, and Shapes. And of course, those players with the overload trait have, of course, got are going to be having a big advantage from this point on. Let's go on. There are still a lot of powers in play. There are only 4 questions left in the game. Use them or lose them. Say the live powers, the green ones. If you know the answer, then they're kind of useless. The red ones are the ones that are going to be dead helpful at the moment. Let's take a look at our next category. Musical terminology. 10 seconds. Time. 2 partial discharges, CJ and Colin. Fetz, Natter, Stilgar, TVP and Shapes using their continuous one. Let's put them in the bank. No changes to the bank score. Nata moving up the ranks into 5th place now. L still with a big bank lead of 70 and 11 in the power bank, and they've got a circuit breaker still there as well, or one of the other, I think it's a circuit breaker. Yes, I think so. So, let's take a look at the question. Which of these is the correct notation of the musical term fortissimo? F, FF, FFF, or FFFF? In chat. 15 seconds. Hashtag F's in the quiz. F's in question. Yeah, there you go. So I'm wondering if Shadowbane wrote that question purely to see if he could get a raid message in there. Royal Flush's F-bomb, that's a good one. Fortissimo, oh, these are all very good. Royal Flush's F-bomb, Fortissimo to pay respect. F's in the quiz. And F's in chat. They're all good. I like them. Correct answer. FF. Fortissimo. F means forte. FF means fortissimo. FFF means the rather wonderful fortissimo. 4 Fs is undocumented. The most I've seen in a piece of music that I've actually played is 7 or 8 in Ligeti's L'Escalier du Diable, which is the 13th etude from his Etudes for Solo Piano. It's a simply marvellous piece of music. If anyone's ever played Mario 64, The Endless Stairs, it sounds a bit like that. It's phenomenally difficult, and it goes up to, I think, 8 Fs. Yeah, it's a great piece of music. I'll drop a link in the Discord, which you should all come and join, by the way. Let's update the board. Oh, I've lost my log. How upsetting. Let's clear it, and hopefully it'll come back. Which means I don't have any information to tell you, but Stimson's Angle has got the battery lead with 28, Clive with 21, L with 18. Those overcharges looking like they are worth their weight in gold if they can keep getting questions right. Let's go on and take a look at the next category. L still with the bank lead and a decent amount in the power bank as well, and a circuit breaker to protect it if they need. But remember, circuit breaker is not a passive power. You've got to actively choose to pass the question if you don't know. Next category. Famous defeats. 10 seconds. Okay, Proves, Lupine, Dalton, Clive, Silver Electron, JR using the continuous discharge, Unfetch using a regular discharge, and Sosely Bob using a Green Day using a partial discharge. Sosely Bob also using a regular discharge. Let's put them in the bank. Ralph moves up to joint first place, but L has got that battery advantage. Cola sitting in second with 66. Sosely now in third, de facto third, with 65. Much to play for with 3 questions to go. And there is still a lot of battery charge out there, and those overloads could still make a difference. Let's take a look at question number 18. The iconic, ladies and gentlemen, we got him declaration in 2003 was in relation to the United States' capture of which notorious Middle Eastern figure? Osama bin Laden, Muammar Gaddafi, Saddam Hussein, or Hamad bin Isa al-Khalifa? 15 seconds. Yeah, one of the top left shapes is like a glossary, if you like. It's a reminder guide, but yes, the bigger buttons are the ones you play to activate. Time. Correct answer. It was Saddam Hussein. For everyone saying Osama bin Laden, Osama was much later. Osama bin Laden was the same time as the royal wedding of William and Kate, which I think was 2011. So remember, it happened the same weekend, and there was an article probably in the Sun, something like the same weekend we killed the bad guy and the princess got married, or something like that. So. Yeah, Saddam Hussein was 2003. Muammar Gaddafi was quite a lot later. That was 2000. I think Gaddafi was after bin Laden. I want to say 2012, something like that. Hamad bin Isa al-Khalifa is the Sultan, not Sultan of Brunei, Sultan of somewhere in the Middle East that I've forgotten from my notes. So yeah, let's update the board. Quite a few getting that one right. Epic Galley going for the capacitor there, which has prevailed. 50% or more were correct. Effrontery losing out on 11. Tipster and Maxio losing out on 6 there. That is the end of the question. Simpson with 41 battery charge and 2 questions to go. Living dangerously, but that overcharge could be helping them out. They have still got a continuous discharge available, and there are 2 questions left. Question 19, here's the category. Words. And fun fact, this was... in fact, I'm not going to say that. I'll tell you afterwards. 10 seconds. Stimson is discharging here, as is Rack. BC Green Day as well. Epic Galley going for a regular discharge. Pyro Pick Me and Conrad Lack using the continuous one. Let's bank him. Whoa! L goes up to 96 and secures that top spot. I think they're going to secure the game with that. So the race is on for silver. Stimson may have done enough to get that already with 77, but let's not take our eyes off Matt, aka Power Viper, and Shapes. There's still 2 questions in play, particularly Shapes with that overcharge available. It's not over yet. Let's take a look at the question. Which of these is an oxymoron? Microfiction, Evil Olive, Bittersweet, Zero Draft. 15 seconds. Time. Everyone but Flyboy playing, and everyone but Flyboy correct. It's Bittersweet. What I was going to say is that this was the first question written in the pack, so in theory this is the easiest of them, because I sort of encourage writers to write them in ascending order. I think Shadowmane's, it started like that and then it went into a sort of randomish sort of order, but then the game shuffles the order internally. So yeah, Evil Olive is an example of a palindrome. A microfiction is just another word for a short story. Zero Draft is the vomit stage of writing, where the writer starts laying out ideas at the very start of preparation for writing a story and trying to build off of them. That's a zero draft. An oxymoron is a word that sort of contradicts itself, so stuck fast or bittersweet, indeed, or honourable gentleman. No, that doesn't work. The Honourable Nigel Farage would be an oxymoron, for example. Politics. Let's update the board. So, Shapes with 39 in the power bank, Power Viper and Brisbane and Schrodinger all with 30 in the power bank. I don't know, even with that power surge, if Shapes has got enough to get to the top. But with the overcharge as it is, and an extra 10 points for each question, it's not over yet. Oni, welcome to the stream, my dude. One final question. If you've got a continuous discharge, you can use it now, or we will bank them automatically after question 20. Here is the final category. Cinema. Partial discharge from Alexander, regular discharge from Shapes, continuous ones played from AB, me, Woollybeck, Tipster, Colin and Puzzle Down. Let's put them in the bank. Shapes jumps up to third. Looks like it could be enough, but Ralph sat behind. It's going to depend a lot on what happens with this question. Stimpson still with that overcharge as well. I don't know if they can reach the gold, but they might be able to if they get this right and L gets this wrong. L has got the circuit breaker to protect their 5, which guarantee them 101. They've chosen not to discharge on this question. Let's take a look at what it brings. Who voices Mario in the Super Mario movie and the Super Mario Galaxy movie? Charlie Day, Seth Rogen, Jack Black, Chris Pratt. 15 seconds. Random order's going to random, Green Day. I would say I think this question was an early one as well. This was like question 2 or 3 in writing, but that's how it goes. Because it's random. If players are going to play that overcharge, it's the risk that they take. They've got to do the comeback, but if they get an easier question, then good for them. Correct answer was Chris Pratt. JR and Colin both going for Seth Rogen. Seth Rogen is the voice of Donkey Kong. Jack Black voices Bowser, and Charlie Day voices Luigi. Should have held on. Should have held on. let's reorder the board one final time. Okay. So we might be able to do some maths from here. I think the day is going to belong to L, aka Rack, because we're going to be putting 11 on top of their 96, which is going to give them 107. Everyone else, we're about to discharge your battery. If you've got anything there, if you've got any powers left, then I'm afraid you've not used them efficiently through the game, but maybe it's a good experience for the next time we play. Let's bank those points. And there we have our winners. And after an epic game, it's a bronze medal to Sophsly Bob, who pipped Shapes at the Post by a single point. Sophsly Bob, that is your first game night medal. Huge congratulations. That's a bronze medal for you, your first at game night. Very, very well played. For Stimpson's Angle, that is your first power play medal. Unsurprising, because it's only the second time we played, and it's a silver. And Rack, is it Rack? Is Rack L? Who is Rack? Who is Rack? Rack 267. Rack 267. Again, yes, that is your first medal at game night. So 2 of our medalists tonight are first-time game night medalists. It's a gold for Rack and a bronze for Sophsly Bob. Both of them first-time medalists here. Silver as well to Stimpson's Angle, first time in power play. What a great game. What a close run thing at the end there. 86 to Sophsly, 98 to Stimpson, but hitting 3 figures, taking the gold medal tonight. The winner of power play is L. It says hide straps. It didn't hide the straps. Someone asked a question. Brisbane being on the left and not using any lifeline. Yeah, not using any of those. Did you get them all right, Brisbane? I mean, your surge protector and your trip switch didn't go off, so you must have got them all right. Anytime I had points, I correctly continuous discharge right before my wrong answer. Ah, right. So of course that's why you've still got them. So yeah, you're discharging the points before the trip switch and this because they don't activate if you don't have any points. Yeah. Well, GG's. And OG Happy Dude, welcome to the stream. Nice Rack coming in. That's a rave message. Yes, pennies will have been paid out, and it should be telling you how many you won. I'm getting a message from... Right, you are, JR. Thank you for heads up. Good. Well, that was a huge amount of fun. I think 20 questions is the right number for this game. Disabuse me of this notion, if you disagree. That felt like the right amount of questions for the game and for the number of powers that you get. The fact that some people still have powers at the end, but a lot of people don't. There were still a lot of people who were using powers in the first half, which is fine. Yeah, that's... I thought that felt really good. I think personally, not to blow my own trumpet, I think my pacing was probably a bit better. I wasn't going into all the details, just hopefully enough to keep things interesting. I could possibly do more debugs so that I know what to say, or more specific debugs highlighted. Woollyback, incidentally, getting 5 points for a streak with that power surge at the end. JR losing 6 points, and Alexander going for a final circuit breaker at the end. Says refreshing continuous discharge. I think I nixed that. I think that felt about right. I mean, what time did we start? Because Moneybox finished at, what, 9:30? So that's about an hour, which feels about right. Any other thoughts? Do chuck them into the suggestions or the discussion section of the Discord. Discussion for general, I like that, feedback. Suggestions for things that you thought still weren't quite right. It's only the second airing of the game, so I'm really pleased with how that's panned out. And I hope you all enjoyed it. Big thanks to Shadowmane. Really nice questions, a good variety of stuff in there. Some tricky, some easier, and a good range of subjects as well. We look forward to seeing more from Shadowmane on Saturday night with his questions in the Abyss. Normally I wouldn't put the same writer 2 streams back to back, but we've swapped some writers around, so Shadowmane had their pack ready to go. So yeah, and very, very grateful to them for their flexibility. That is the end of the game. I'm going to roll the credits, and then we are going to finish the night off with our regular midweek Thunderball draw. I do hope you'll stick around for an opportunity for bonus pennies coming up very shortly this Thursday night game night. Thank you again to Shadowmane, and congratulations to L, our Power Play champion. Just before we go to the Thunderball draw, something that's just caught my attention. Someone said Overload is maybe too OP. That is possibly a side effect of changing the number of questions, because it was worked out it should be OP because it's a risk that you're putting on the end of the game. But before it was more balanced because if you went for the one where you get 1 extra per question, you could get an extra 25 in total. The streak meant you could get an extra 50 in total, but that you had to get consecutive ones, and the end game meant you could get 20. So it is the same as if you get 5 for each of the last 5, you can get 25, which is more than you can get for getting 1 extra one on every question. So I might need to tweak that slightly. I just wanted to raise that. Someone throw that in suggestions and I'll flesh out that rather vague skeleton, but write it down so I don't forget, because that is a genuinely good point. Let me kill the current game and let me get the penny prize draw loaded up. Thank you, Brisbane. Appreciate it. Yeah, it was really balanced before with 25 questions, but I might need to just tweak it slightly before our next game. But I'll let you know what I decide. Oh, excuse me. Right, I'm going to mute. I'm going to have a cough. I'm going to load the Thunderball up, and I will see you for balls in just a moment. It is Thursday night. We are live from the Game Night Control Center, and it is time for the midweek Thunderball draw. BPMW is the code you need. Questions about whether the penny bank updated. It should have updated. I'll go and check stuff in just a moment. Let me just check the medal cabinet first of all. Oh no, maybe it hasn't. Oh, that's annoying. Oh, hang on, I'm on the wrong screen. Hang on. My bad. So we get medal cabinets. Did pennies not pay out? Because it doesn't look like medals have. Who was it? Stimpson's Angle. No. Rack. Huh. And just Sophie Bob, wasn't it? Okay, looks like medals haven't paid out, so I need to go find out what's gone on there. Because you may be right. Can anyone else confirm? Anyone else know what they had? I mean, it doesn't look like the medals have gone in, but it may just not have updated locally at my end. Apologies for that. I will go and A, fix that, and B, manually add the pennies back on. Because that's terribly unfair to deprive you of those pennies. So that'll be 20 minutes in my lunch break tomorrow. You may be entitled to compensation. You may indeed. BPMW is the code. Let's lucky dip this week. And I am the 40th player. I've completed the front row. Look at that. Woo! 40 players. Love to see it. Mark that as used. Yeah, someone note that in bug reports, but that might be a thing. Matt wanting a pre-lottery lottery. Veal success. 474.
What a shame.
What a shame. Yeah, chuck in suggestions. Yeah, bug reports would be great because that looks very much like a bug. I will go and double check. Right. Just going through a couple of raid messages. Okay, I've got a lot of raid messages tonight. Yeah, there's a lot of raid messages. I've got quite a long shortlist, so I'll go through those in just a minute. Right, no one's joined since I did, so let's hide that rune code. Thank you very much, OG Happy Dude. Yeah, it's all me. It's all homegrown. Everything you see is me. So all the overlays on stream, all of the broadcast graphics, all the universal controller. It's all me. Though I have to pay a tribute to Ash the Bash, who does the networking, the headless controller that lets the graphics and the universal controller talk to each other. But yeah, the presentation's all me. Thank you very much for the kind words. Come join the Discord, by the way. You'd be most welcome. Right. I think we should start this Thunderball draw and get it underway. Let's start the machine. And here's what you could be winning this evening. Up to 50,000 pennies with 5 numbers and the Thunderball. Or as few as 0 if you don't match anything. Which is, you know, also not fun. But across 10 lines, hopefully something will stick. Let's release those big money balls. Number 8 first, please, says Fruit. Oh, well, that's no fun, is it, OG Happy Dude? You either need an alt or you'll need to leave something. Or, you know, not join us. Okay, giving the balls a nice spin. I'm looking at bug reports and suggestions, which I definitely shouldn't be. Yes, there's a couple of little things there. Did anyone note the pennies? Pennies, medals not paying out in PowerPlay. There's a few little bugs to look at. Right, good luck to you all. Let's start the draw. Okie dokie. 39 blue balls rolling around. Let's see what they can do for you tonight. First one out. Tonight we're using Excalibur, by the way. Number 4 is the first one out. 9th appearance in the main Thunderball draw. Last saw it on Thursday, the 7th of May. Excalibur and set of balls number 1. I should have said that already for full disclosure. My bad. But that's the first one out. Okay, second. Or not. Try again, Excalibur. Oh. It's going to be a bumper stream. We're going to be until gone midnight. It's just turned 11 o'clock. There we go, we've got them this time. 26! 6th appearance in the main Thunderball draw. Last saw it Thursday, the 7th of May. We had one, 8 Mick. We had one not long ago. Yeah, looking a bit blunt. Very good. Oh, that's a good start. I've got 4 already. Third ball. 24. 5th appearance in the main Thunderball draw. Last saw it Thursday, the 30th of April. But it is not this day! This day we fight! That's Glamdring, wasn't it? Oh, that was Gandalf's sword in Lord of the Rings. I'm thinking of Anduril, Flame of the West. Number 12 is the 4th ball out. 4th appearance in the main Thunderball draw. Last saw it Thursday, the 26th of February. Is it Anduril, Flame of the West, formed from the shards of Narsil? You've got me all Lord of the Rings nerding out now, Stilgar. Thanks for that. Come on, 32, says 8 Minky. Alas not. Close, but no cigars. Number 30. Well, after the first 2 balls, I've had a nightmare. I've not hit anything. Never mind. 4 and 26 could still give me some money if we get 11, 8, 9, or 5 as the Thunderball. Let's start the second machine. And remind you of the payouts. And anyone looking into getting some of those big numbers, if the Thunderball goes your way, let's see what happens as we release the Thunderballs. 14 red Thunderballs going into the second machine. Let's see if Lady Luck's going to smile on you tonight. Good luck. As they come to settle, a lot of players look for number 9. Of course, we're not going to get it first time. Second time looks good though. 7. No, it's 5. No, it's 13. Second appearance as a Thunderball. Last saw it on Thursday, the 27th of November. And once again, Tonight's Thunderball numbers, this time in ascending numerical order. Tonight, your winning line is number 4, number 12, number 24, number 26, and number 30. The Thunderball is number 13. Bad luck, I'm afraid you haven't won today. Maybe next time. Giles is going for a post-lottery, as is Tipster. We'll do those in just a minute. Let's look at our big winners. Sosli again, 2 with the Thunderball for 1,500 pennies. Flyboy, CJ and Pruse getting 3 without the Thunderball for 1,000 pennies. Maxio, Natish, still got a tip. SJJR twice. Fet, L and Shapes, 1 with the Thunderball for 500 pennies. And big winners overall. Sosli 2250 with 3 across 3 lines. Flyboy 1500 across 3. CJ 1350 across 3. Proogs 1250 across 2. Woollyback 1250 across 4. And JR 1000 across 2. Well done to all of them and to everyone else who managed to get some money out of Excalibur tonight. More than 2 with at least 100. Yeah, 1 number without the Thunderball doesn't get you anything though, Green Day. Yeah, 1 number on its own doesn't get anything. The Thunderball on its own gets you a little something, but yeah, it might look good because it highlights them all, but they don't all add up to winning lines.
What a shame.
What a shame. Anyway, what a fun night it's been. It's a billion degrees in my office, so I'm going to wrap things up. I've got to pick a raid message. Probably going to go raid Flage again. He's playing Hitman Blood Money, which is a big fan of the Hitman games. I played one of them, Contracts, I think. Keep meaning to download the latest versions. So we're going to give him some love while he's on his Flage Fest, and we'll pass on this decent number of people that we've got as well. I'll do the post-lottery lotteries after the credits, and I will see you for the raid message selection in just a second. And that, my friends, is it for another Thursday night game night. I hope you've all had fun. And I'm privately thinking it's kind of a good thing the drain got postponed because it's already 11:05 and it is a Thursday night, which I do try and keep that a little bit shorter. So, yeah, for Moneybox, it took us a minute to get going. And turns out Moneybox and PowerPlay, both fairly chonky games, it turns out. But I hope you've had fun with them. I've certainly had a great time. Many thanks once again to our writers, John and Shadowmane, and to Cola for proofing the former as well. Big thanks, as ever, to the admin moderation team and everyone who helps make things work behind the scenes. Don't forget, you can come and join Discord if you're not already in 100 servers. Come and hang out with us. There's a nice friendly bunch in the general voice chat who like to meet during game night, and it's good banter if you fancy popping in and joining us. Also, you can get suggestions, feedback, find out what the schedule is, and maybe even get your own questions into the game if you fancy a stab at question writing as well. Don't forget, if you're watching on the VOD, and you can do just that by visiting PerseptionShare.com/on-demand, where you can go back and catch up with every episode of Game Night going right the way back to Season 1, way back in 2020. And if you are watching on YouTube, please make sure to like and subscribe, because that's what the bot tells me I have to do, and we all have to listen to them. So, we're going to go raid for Large and Lounge, but first of all, I've got to pick a raid message, which is going to be our episode title. It's going to be the thumbnail for the VOD. And the winner is going to get 250 pennies. So, honourable mentions. I'm never going to pick insert raid message from Green Day, honourable mention. Kill the Game from Proogs. Nice patty you got there from Ardenfets. My Sweet Submissive Subject from Fallen Angel. Royals Hold Music is Royalist from Brisbane. That's good. William Henson is a Muppet from Proogs. Right to William Henson from Simpsons Angle. I hear it's about Russia from Alexander the Her. I don't have 32 minutes to boil my eggs from Alexander the Her. Soft boil, hard boil brick from O.M. Dalton. I quite like this from Flyboy. Throw eggs at Naples. A few variations on a similar theme here. Overloaded by discharge from Simpsons Angle. Are you a fan of the word discharge from Shapes? That one's very funny. I'm going to put a pin in that one. And that one. And that one. And that one, but no, there's a lot of similar ones. I don't know if I can pick a favourite out of them. One of these modern new people from Ardenfex. Hello Footrest number 2 from Vertigo. Stuck between an ass and a donkey vote from Tipster. Lots of variations on this. F's in chat by G. Eisend. F's in question from Shadowmane. Fortissimo to pay respects from JR. Royal Flush's F-bomb from Colin. F's in the quiz from Matt the Sprat. And F to you too from SJ. Oxy Twat from Oni. And you may be entitled to compensation from Ardenfetz. Lots of honourable mentions there. And I've got 4 and then 3. And I think these 4, I don't think I can separate them. So Green Day, despite the aggressive discharge there. Vertigo, aggressive discharge. O.M. Dalton, aggressive discharging intensifies. And Tipster, aggressively discharging at sport. All of those very, very good. The smut, it just feels a bit obvious. And there's lots of people with similar ones, so I can't separate that. But you get 100 pennies if I've given it an honourable mention. So I've got my top 3. Oh, Jerry, The Shape of Shapes, 3rd place. Stimpson, 2nd place. Are you ready to pick a different partner? Again, it's another one of those nights I could have gone in one of a couple of directions. But the winner tonight and the raid message that we're going to go with and the episode title and 250 pennies goes to JR Plays Games for LLMs are obsequious yes men. Yes, they are. It was a lovely quote, I think, from Shapes or Lupine earlier on in Moneybox. But that's going to be the raid message. LLMs are obsequious yes men. We are going to go raid Flodgen Lounge. Don't forget, I'm going to be back on Saturday night with even more quiz. Bumper stream on Saturday. Cryptex from Dogfish. DEFCON from Dalton. Catch up on heat number 6 of The Drain. And finishing off with The Abyss from Shadowmane. Lots to look forward to. That's this Saturday night. Twitch.tv/royal_flush 8 PM BST. I hope to see you there. Until then, enjoy the sunshine while it's here. Enjoy the last fragment of your week. And looking forward to a lovely bank holiday weekend. Lovely 3-day weekend. I do hope you'll come and join me on Saturday night. And until then, you have been watching Game Night with me, Royal Flush. Be splendid and wonderful and marvellous and safe. And as always, take care. Peace out and good night.